get to see that back when he was in Tier 1. Now, coming into this game in particular, Lenny wanting to prove himself, wants to bring himself to the big stages once again, and Full Sense, who's been dying and waiting for so many years to go into Ascension and maybe break into Tier 1.
Kind of expected at this point, right, for Full Sense to be already in the Premier League, because once again, during the APAC days, they really were a top contender. But things change. The game is completely different from what it was. And we see some of these adjustments just kind of materialize. But so far, the first gunfight has been avoided by Potter.
They have a chip damage onto Pontus as well. They're just really trying to fill out that mid area here. And in return, you sounded out Sephiroth to just really go for that peek. He has the Dizzy if he wants to go a bit more aggressive. He wants to go for a flash, but his shoulder is definitely been seen. Killsy marking him, so nobody wants to overstep their bounds. But Sephiroth, though, see the gap, he goes forward. And now a beeline straight onto B side. You sell the out drone. I'm sure that last has already been seen.
No.
He's gonna try and challenge it, but HYK ready for it, and so was Lenny. Already so much space on that site with a two-man advantage. Z11. This is a good start.
Curious why he was so worried about the kitchen leak there when they had quite a bit of presence, but maybe some miscommunication early on.
Nice shot from Potter. Quick to find out Killsy. Only making a one-man disadvantage as Fedora quickly denies more advantage forward. What a shot coming from HYK as well. Nasty shots with the ghosts.
Good round for Z11 here. Just to get themselves a slight confidence boost. I mean, again, when you come up teams that have been your tournament demons, it is a big help to have any advantage you could possibly get, right? But
yeah,
the longer that round went, just the messier it got for Full Sense. It looked like the Killjoy from Yellow was a bit more discombobulated than you'd can expect. But hey, first round of the evening, still need to see these teams warm up.
Yeah, you're already seeing a rifle on the board for Lenny to start off, with Hardora and HYK still maintaining those ghosts. He got going for that peek. His shoulder did get seen, but thankfully for him, Killsy not able to land that crucial first hit shot.
Shock dart.
Things have taken a bit of a slowdown here as Z11 is still considering where they really want to go. They've already set up the wall towards B and has pulled enough attention on the side of Full Sense to make the call to stack up. A is considerably bare. So maybe Z11 with this rotation made the right judgment call here.
Toxin screen down.
QQ is the only one there to fight on A. And I think he's already sort of moving away from screens. It should be a retake here. And for them, see Leviathan's shoulder means that they're all just gonna back off and they're just gonna completely just break onto A side and they rush forward here. Hardora cannot even hold. Gives Potter an access or an orb closer to the blades. Lenny gonna get that plant, and the rest of Full Sense, well, is a full four-man flank. No, they're gonna go in through mid.
I think they might just go for the exit here. They're probably just gonna wait for the spike to go off and just deny orbs. But they're already up one. They could potentially flood into the side here, but knowing Z11, they're ready to receive.
Comes forward here, sees the head, spots it out, Killsy, gonna find one, Pontus as well. Sephiroth at the very least steals away one more. See if they're not gonna take another kill to the face. HYK denies it. And for Full Sense, all they have to do now is just wait it out and not take as many guns as they can. In fact, giving Killsy another orb forward. And that is just not a good round for them. Regardless, for Full Sense, next round is going to be their bye. My question is whether or not they can just really snowball forward.
They did take a lot of armor away from Z11 as well as 2. So all things considered, Full Sense did an okay job. But yeah, like you said, they did give Killsy a few extra orbs here. I wonder how that's gonna affect some of these rounds moving forward. Considering this Yoru is expected to have a lot of fights, so uptime on that dimensional drift should be up there as indicated by the stats. But Full Sense, full gun round here. I wonder what's the play. You see the dart, it's too shallow. They might just pause. Z11 trying to work up another default here, Tash. But they have still manage to keep their patience.
Oh man, it's a very aggressive Z11. They're taking up so much space. They're in a more aggressive position.
Ooh.
And so is Full Sense. They fight back. Lenny falls. Fontu's position a bit better. They didn't check Nest. So Fontu's HYK, 1 each. Potter, unknown, unseen, almost got a 2 there before Killsy shuts him down. And Laz alone one more time. Z11 here. They're about to convert the bonus. Let's see whether or not if Laz could take it away. 2 more players to worry about here. No clue where they are. Definitely heard the drop.
Ooh, he has to expect the post plant here. Both nanos are up, so he has to take a fight, and he's looking for it. But look at
And
this
it's a
positioning.
high-low too. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy. One, and he wins it, but where is the other? Position for Fontus staying way back. Laz is so low right now, jumps forward. Time is ticking. Rushing onto that side. Fontus shouldn't have a problem trying to find the correct angle.
Where are the
here.
nanos?
Yo, he's trying to, where is the nanos? Jumps forward,
no.
knows exactly where he is. It's halved. He taps again, and Laz rushes forward, shoots him in the face. Both whiff, but Fontus gets the perfect tap. A close round, but Z11, they converted in the end.
It was nearly a disaster there. I thought for sure the nanos were already on the map, but you know, it's those small things that Z11, despite winning the round, have to discuss. Nearly risked the peak there, and as well as not getting the trade, but the result is all the same. Full Sense with a hobbled economy, and one less duel in the bag. Z11 convincing a 3-round swing, as well as indicating that this is a well-scouted map already. They found that leak, but Killsy goes for the momentum play.
Take some chip damage. Leviathan swings. Leviathan wins it. Traded out quickly by Z11.
Here.
And HYK marking him, making sure he's not able to swing out. Sends out the clone. And Potter waiting out there in the wings. You hear the sound of the Dizzy. Killsy waiting, but Sephiroth has been great at the trades, and so has HYK. HYK has had phenomenal success this early game as well. Multiple frags, as if anything. And he's looking sharp, hot, if anything. And now suddenly, Full Sense find themselves again in the back foot with only 2 players alive. I'm waiting to see these sheriffs come online, especially from these type players. But Full Sense, we're not there quite yet. HYK out there in the open, and so is Laz.
Player standing.
Position-wise,
Ooh.
HYK with the better gun wins it. QQ got later rotation. Here's the footsteps of Punches. Tries to go for a kill, cannot do so. Z11, this map, this entire map is their playground.
Not looking too good for Full Sense here. Z11 quick on the trades in these initial contacts, as well as understanding that these sheriffs just don't have enough to withstand that full-on flush. But on Full Sense, they're given another chance to adjust. Potter does have blades available alongside an operator. So this should be their ace in the hole. I fully expect them to recover in this round. Otherwise, it might just look like another Pick'em's disaster for us. There is a lot of utility being invested towards B, and Full Sense might have just made the right reinforcement here.
Great stuff coming in from Killsy at the very least. They pinged out the members of Full Sense, but Full Sense this time around, they don't want to fight this. They want to wait for a full rotation and move in together as a team. They get the plants here, but Laz's position. Oh my god, almost a whiff. I almost got a heart attack there. A great opening pick coming from this team. Lenny trying to see if anyone's crossing, finds nothing. A lot of angles to see and play with. Hardora wins that much needed jewel. Leviathan falls, Potter in hand, playing a retake with an op. That's not gonna be easy.
Get out of my way.
Walls come up, the blades are online right now. HYK has so much space and pressure to keep the rest of the team at bay. A quick kill to the face for QQ Gun, almost taking down another. Laz takes him down. Lenny trades, and Laz once again alone in the back. Potter barely alive, and they are forced to save.
One enemy remaining.
Oh my god!
Ready.
We weren't expecting a win like that, but Laz pulls off that kind of shot. Crazy stuff.
Clutch.
Ah, man. Painful for Full Sense. They had the initial pick. They got the leak in the site, but still had to slow down because they had to work around Potter's operator. Now, he still has it available as well as Blade Storm, but they have to find a bit more immediate value there because since they're trying to pocket that weapon so much, it's gonna slow down the retake here. Z11 also doing a good job of not overly extending here, despite knowing there was an operator, because it could have been a disaster if that operator decided to fight from Snowman. Now, Full Sense, quick on the draw as well on this pause. Them New Jerseys, you gotta keep them fresh, you know, not start 05.
Yeah, I know, I'm quite surprised because for me personally, I was expecting Full Sense to start strong. Understandably, the first 3 rounds is that I would say the exploration round. You try and figure out the Rubik's Cube that is in the team. There has to be a reason why Z11 let this map go through. Granted, the fact that for Full Sense, this is one of their best maps so far. But Z11 seem to have done their homework. They look so good right now. They're so aggressive. And Full Sense cannot seem to match up their speed.
That's the thing too. It feels like Full Sense, they're still trying to get the rust or just their joints warm. Z11 is already having a lot of success and running laps around this defense so far. We do have Lockdown and we do have Lead Storm available. Pit is not too far off. So these 3, actually as well as Sephiroth, Thrash here is also a great piece of utility to have on this defense. Z11, once again, they're pretty much suffocating Full Sense here.
Look at how fast the initiate comes through as Killsy quickly takes out Kiku God. That is not good. Losing that hard info early is just terrible for this team. Retake's gonna be so hard, but they do have at least Lockdown to give them a bit of space and deny that plant. But for Z11, they want to double down on this. Going onto that side. Goes on the side as well. Gets a TP out, and I think they're gonna try and just really play back so far. They broke the lockdown, and Full Sense at the very least notices that Z11 wants to fight.
They're not contesting the spike though, so this is still potentially a free pickup for Z11. It's not all that deep, but they have to cross either belt side or 410. But Z11, HYK has the opportunity to do so. They could re-rotate. Full Sense, they're still pretty much planted on the side.
Hold. Nicely done. Potter waited a long time, but you can always rely on these players from Z11 to quickly go for the trade. Thrash up online as well, but I don't think it actually noticed where the positions of these players are. So it's still a question mark. Thrash not able to be picked up with the wings. Montus alone, and last, unfortunate for him, that whip cost him a bit more space. Gets the plant, vulnerable or not, he's still gonna try and put it down, and he does.
Spike plant.
Sends the wingman out, finds nothing. Killsy taking a bit of chip damage, but he's not enough. Killsy and Hardora are quick to react, and Full Sense not able to convert that timeout.
Not at all. And I was a little worried on Z11's decision making to just kind of force the fight there. HYK almost led that spike into no man's land, especially with Full Sense having an operator still in their hands. But no, with a lot of shifty shooting and a lot of just confidence, really, they still barrel onto the site and manage to overwhelm Full Sense. Full Sense, if they don't get their bearings together, this could be a very, very dangerous half to let go of.
Really is 6-0. This is dominance, especially with Full Sense track record on this map. Looking from bad to worse right now, especially in this economy. Only sheriffs and maybe a singular rifle onto Laz with the Guardian on Sephiroth.
Oh boy. Weaker weapons again on the side of Full Sense. Just really not a big vote of confidence on their ability to win this round. Sephiroth is going to track that gate crash. Hopefully he doesn't get too distracted because look, he has given up so much space on orange and mid, so there could be a potential like lurk if they're not paying attention. But Z11, what they're doing right now is also just maneuvering their safer side here. They're being very careful of how they want to navigate the map. Since they've taken control of belt, they're going to reinvest and refill this space with all their players. Don't think Full Sense have anything in particular to contest this. Nothing but maximum effort, 3 sheriffs, and 2 rifles.
Z11 one more time playing the explosive game. It works so well for them with Laz falling early. That's the rifle out of the way already. The flash keeps Potter at bay, and Lenny swiftly deals with it as he rushes forward. Killsy, Lenny, Fontus all get a kill each. It's a flawless round, and Killsy has not let go of this outlaw for quite some time.
That's not a good sign. You want that outlaw to lose value after round 3. But since Full Sense have just been cycling through their economy, it's almost as valuable as an operator here, if not more. 2 bullets in the chamber. They do manage to... Actually, I think they're gonna give it to Killsy. No, they go for the straight upgrade here. They finally abandoned their lucky charm, perhaps. And Full Sense, if they win this round, then we could be a little superstitious.
Enemy kill.
Okay, there's the up. Finally finding that much needed mark as HYK falls. Little less explosive power to deal with. As Lenny makes sure to scout around very close. A bit of damage taken by Fontes as well, trying to cross over yellow. And now the wait. The cut of noise keeps the rest of Full Sense fairly antsy.
See what's on the menu here for Z11. They have everything available to them, barring their duelist. They're considering if... Yeah, but now Leviathan has dissuaded them from going on a full forced attack, right?
Oh no, they're gonna rush up forward, take out a bit more space, walking up that Viper wall. And in exchange, they just send out a snake bite, but Lenny swings Fontus as well. And the plant happens. It looks so solid in the beginning for Full Sense, this mid-round. But Z11, they are forced to be reckoned with. Aggressive, high firepower. They are dictating the momentum of how these rounds go.
I can't believe they still got the plant down, to be honest with you. In Full Sense. Oh no, that's still one more nano they didn't get rid of. This could very well end in disaster again.
There's no time, there's no space as well. They go for the challenge aggressively, but the space has been stolen away. Kikugat may be good for one, but Hardora as well steals away alive. Hardora just taking away so much space and control. You can't even hold. Winning all those duels and team fights. And I'm surprised that Full Sense not able to play and execute as a team, giving Z11 so much isolated 1v1s.
Somebody give Full Sense a glass of water right now. They choked that round so bad. They had the initial pick here, and Potter even found himself in a safer position. But still, they managed to dominate the front of the site, get the plant down, and burn enough time to basically disable that man advantage Full Sense was kind of banking on. And like I said, Full Sense, they're gonna be suffering the consequences of yet another collapse in economy. That outlaw sounds incredibly terrifying.
Kelsey is just holding on to that with his life. If anything, that may be his lucky charm. Let's see how long he can hold on to it more. Let's try and count the rounds here, Raf. Regardless, coming into this one, the pit did come online. You have Leviathan in there with that Bucky. But Z11 undeterred. Fine, we don't have access to B-Long. Let's try and take away A site here. Immediate spray onto Kikugat, and that is a very unfortunate whiff. But the flash comes through nanos as well. HYK, speed is the name of the game, and last Potter somehow land 2-3 crucial kills. But Lenny, with the better guns, wins it still, and somehow this lower lesser bike round looks a lot more attractive here for Full Sense. Sephiroth still very much on the site, a better gun in hand. No clue where Kelsey is or Lenny.
No. Look at this. The Viper flank is coming too, so Sephiroth, all he has to do is stay alive!
That's perfect. A perfect splash on one end to just really take away Sephiroth. They get the plant and the Bucky in hand. He's revived and gets the kill. But Lenny, what is that movement? He was not caught off guard at all. This guy did not come to play. He means serious business.
I'm swinging at the air, man. It's so close. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Full Sense, what's happening? What's going on? God, not getting any value off this Sova. They look so good and then look so bad. It just seems like Z11 have read the entirety of their strat book. This was so close.
He's mad.
He's mad. He's furious, dude. I would be so mad. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that. I respect. But now, Full Sense, they need a mental reset here, Tosh. Nothing has worked out. They've got the man advantage.
No.
This could work.
This can work. No, did not get the much needed kill. They took up so much space forward, but now you already expanded that Hunter's Fury. Barely made any damage onto Lenny at all. Like Lenny said, he's mad. He's mad.
He's really like that.
Oh, no.
Prince outlived Mike Jack.
No, that is so smart. I have to say, that is incredibly smart. You just bait off your duelist. You have the oppa to someone else. Just immediately trade out as soon as you throws his hand.
Nice shot.
Sephiroth, at the very least, takes Hardora away here and is looking a lot
enemy
better for
remaining.
Full Sense. A lot more dominance, a lot more firepower, and perhaps that play, that round, that madness or anger that Lenny said is fueling the team. One of many rounds to go.
This is where Z11 honestly have the allowance to just kind of throw tilt plays at Full Sense. Because if it works, then it's just further going to, you know, push them in the hole. But despite the opening pick, this time it's Full Sense off the back of Sephiroth, just crushing that attack. But they still have a long way to climb out of. Look at this. This economy is not going anytime soon. Full Sense still trying to work with this operator. But like you said, it's only really valuable once they get that early presence. There we go. Lenny's out of the game.
Yeah, you start to see Potter's impact really starting to come online, but we've seen so many of these early picks from Potter. My question is how Z11 is going to readjust to this. No more noise. It's actually pulled Potter away from that site just from the cut of noise.
No Hunter's Fury here too for Z11, so that's gonna hurt their ability to play post-plat just a little bit. We see Potter repause. I like it a lot. So now I don't think Z11 are entirely sure what the intentions of this op has been, because frankly we haven't seen too much data of Full Sense just succeeding with that weapon so far. So this could work in their advantage. They'll take every single round they can get.
I love this quick rotation coming from Potter. You hear the sound of the op onto B, and then you try to cut noise, and then slowly pivot onto A. Now, Potter was quick on it, and they have no clue that Potter is already stationed here. But Killsy with the dimensional drift should pull away his hold. No! It's a shish kebab! Potter is doing so much damage with this op this round. Positions unknown already. How to go, how to cross. That Viper wall is making it so hard for them to do anything here. And suddenly, every single advantage gone. Pontus, at the very least, is a little bit more closer to his lockdown. So these two players are just gonna wait and save.
10 seconds left.
Good choice here by Z11 just to double down on their potential last round. Because if anything, if they still get 9-3, it honestly still good enough. But if it looks like their intention is to run this into a 10-2. They really want to double up on that lead, make that potential piss round that much more volatile. Once again, like you said, you called it out. Potter had such a great read on the situation alongside a collateral as the cherry on top.
And this is where you start to see Full Sense really come on. And for me personally, I think that Full Sense is such a momentum-heavy team. They ride on their momentum, they ride their high, and once they look good, it's pretty much hard to deal with them. Potter has not popped his blades for God knows how long, preferring to play with the op itself.
This operator still as dangerous as it could be, but they have a different plan for it. They do double back, they see the hit is coming A, and now the bodies are slowly flooding in. The 11 have a window of opportunity here. They do have the advantage, but once again, they have to clear every single corner here. QQ God still doesn't have a scan available either.
Lockdown's online. Get it down. So much space to take away, and you can't even counter it either. So Full Sense.
No.
The disrespect actually means they get punished for it. QQ God trades, and so does Fontus. They get the plant. Killsy a very, very aggressive angle and hold. They send the Dizzy out, they send the flash. Killsy already waiting on the other side of the map. Sephiroth tagged by Lenny. HYK with the blades go nuclear right now. Killsy unknown at all that Laz is close, but HYK is there. But Laz challenges, he wins it. These isolated fights, Laz is so good at this. My question is whether or not he's going to be able to win it. And yet, he's taking out so much damage from the nanos. Wallbangs abound, and Lenny's not done. He still has 2 more shock darts to go. Time ticking. Z11. Everything in the arsenal sent out. Laz wants to try and challenge, clears everything. But it's not enough. Z11 10-2 lead. And it's a long climb to equalize for Full Sense.
Remember, this was Full Sense pick. Either they have that much confidence in the rest of the map pool, or this has been completely scouted out by Z11. No. Laz tried to make a heroic last stand, but once we took a slaughter. I was trying to be nice about it, but this is not it, folks. Full Sense are just getting bullied on this map. It's unfortunate, really. Especially for my pick'ems.
Yeah, Raph and I are probably cursed at this point. And
Take
if
flight.
anything, there's a reason why Raph is called the bad cop. He is not one to mince words. But again, this could change in the second half. We're seeing so many teams just really start, gaining momentum in that second half. We've seen an 11-1 almost come back from Team Liquid. We've seen an 11-3 come back from, from Fnatic. So nothing is impossible. But Sephiroth took a lot of damage for us from the shock darts. And this is what I'm very excited about. That Lenny on that Sova, but Potter, a great opening onto Fontus to start things off strong. And Z11, they're trying their best to really just bully their way onto that side, but fell sense. You have Potter as the front line, taking down names right, left, and center. A high-low setup, a flash to come through here, Killsy. The rest of Full Sense flash, nah, we are not gonna peek it at all. Waiting for the tap one more time. And they do. And 1, 2, 3 swing. Killsy gets one, and so does Potter. And this pistol, Full Sense, make it look easy.
Well, Full Sense, this is a great first step in the long walk, the long road that is the comeback. But Z11, they have to keep their cool too if they want to win this map. They actually have the luxury to force if they really want to do so, and even put the more pressure on Full Sense. But judging from the way they played the last 2 rounds of that half, I doubt that they'll do anything too out of pocket. I would have liked to see like the Stinger by here, because I actually think this is one of the rounds where it's really powerful. But here we are. Classics everywhere. Nothing too crazy. And I fully expect Full Sense to run away with this round.
Real. You only have that solo Killjoy watching on that B site. They have a lot of ideas, at least of where exactly they can go here. A bit more space to play on long. Well, we have Sephiroth trying to get his Thrash online, but rotations coming in a lot faster from Z11, just really piling out bodies with Lenny. The late lurk could be massive if he could get the timing right for this crucial headshots. Gets the plant. Wingman doing his due diligence here. You have the double nanos there as well to delay. Oh,
Very
no.
open plant.
They know where Lenny is as well. So there's a stalemate happening on the backside. Pulls away some attention.
I mean, really, they're just here to die to the spike, but if they could get a bunch of freebies here,
Great opening by
always gonna be
Z11.
happy bonus.
Yeah. HYK
Right
down,
there.
so is Lenny. Time ticking. Z11 tried. I don't think they can actually steal away any guns at this point either. One more time for the tap. Get some chip damage, but if anything, Z11 will deny any alt orbs onto Full Sense, and I think it's a very, very good call.
Yeah. They're also just playing War of Attrition on Full Sense side here. They know that a lot of these ults on both of their ends are decently expensive, especially Pit. Thrash is like an 8-point ult. And they know that Full Sense need this to kind of dictate the pace and steamroll. Meanwhile, Z11 should make the most out of this bonus round here. Although, will they be expecting this many Vandals on the side of Full Sense? Plus, that Guardian is really no slouch when it comes to these rangy fights.
Lenny tried to hold, but not against an avalanche. That's a 5-man swing down mid. No damage or barely any damage done to the members of Full Sense at all, leaving Laz alone just to catch anyone who's just rotating out.
Ooh. Again, maybe that's changed their mind on how they want to approach this. That gate crash is about to expire too, so Killsy better make it quick. Oh no.
Yeah, I love how Full Sense just throwing bodies here at this point. Just swing as a team, swing as a 3-4, and just really avalanche their way against that one singular hold, whether it be mid or even B site. But now, the B site has been repopulated one more time. You know that HYK is there, but how about Hardora? No clue where he is. Well, now they do. No clue where he is. He's scanned as well as Flash. But Hardora still wins those fights. Sephiroth, the Q we got, at the very least, are okay to trade and even more. Fontus, all alone here in a 1v4. My question is, are you going to try and bring that gun to the next round here? Or are you just going to try and take away some fights? Maybe make it a bit more expensive?
Man. Full Sense. Make this a bit more realistic, but Fontus does find one on the board here. Doesn't necessarily incite a scramble on the side of Full Sense.
Oh, that timing is crazy. Not too sure if Sephiroth suspects him somewhere there, but Fontus is doing well and staying hidden. Spots out another hit.
wow.
That's another kill to his name.
Turret out.
Mixed around and takes away a few more guns. Full sense, yeah, and gets another round on the board here. Slowly but surely, we started off at 10-2 half, and now it's a 10-5.
At the very least, it's gonna delay the operator plus a full set for Full Sense, knowing that they have been employing that into their roster as much as they have been, especially in this game alone. But yeah, like I said, I think they're just surprised by the fact that there are that many Vandals. Maybe they thought that Full Sense were hoping to go for a more conservative buy and just kind of play the long game even further. But well read, whoever made that call in Full Sense. Now they have a clear advantage here. Fonctus is the only one with a rifle in his hand. And really nothing else to speak of. Sure, Sheriff's lethal in the hands of our very beloved pro players. But if we really go by the numbers here, there's just a very slim chance of them taking away this round with a singular hero Vandal.
Doesn't make it easy either when you have a Thresh online. Can take up so much space, deny, you know, the opportunity to go a bit more aggressive either. Z11. Oh man, Kelsey is stuck, sends out flash and TP's out to safety. HYK nearly lands that perfect headshot, but it's not enough. Sends out the Thresh to clear out off yellow. Not anything yet, but he's gonna make a U-turn back to his teammates, so they're just gonna take away any space they can get.
Oh, now we have Leviathan. Incredibly damaged, but they do get HYK. So that should be a happy trade.
Flash forward, it's a perfect flash, but at Full Sense, we're very much ready for it. Fontus falls and just punished for swinging. Kelsey limping. You can tell that Z11's stuck now. No idea how to execute. QQ got great opening as well. Another time here onto Kelsey. Thresh doesn't find the mark, but they know exactly where Hardora is for time being. Gonna play a bit of a ring around the rosy, get the space to plant. His teammate on a later rotation as well, not helping in terms of the timing. Hoping to steal away a gun, pop a head or two. Teammate turret spots out Hardora as well.
Poison orb emitting.
Oh, well, these pairs of sheriffs looking mighty bleak, but look at QQ got Laz and Leviathan. Low. There's potential, but I doubt that they'll expose themselves, especially with the stakes at hand here.
Enemy remaining.
Leviathan swings and so does Laz. I have to say the timing for Full Sense on this post plants look mighty convincing. Was shaky the first half, but Full Sense, they're just taking it brick by brick. 10-6 already, and that's what, 4 rounds in a row on the second half. And I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen a timeout yet.
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
Round lead is not looking as convincing anymore for Z11, but once again, there's some small things that they can take away from this. Full Sense now having yet another, or actually Z11 going for that first timeout that you said. Now they're considering what can we do for these next 3 rounds. So they can't just keep giving away these opportunities, because now what's happened is that Full Sense has built up enough of an economy to have 2 full purchases in a row. That might not just cut it. You want as many easy rounds as possible.
It's interesting when you look at Z11. I think from the beginning of the year till now, despite the roster changes, they are such a momentum-heavy team. I spoke about this about Full Sense a lot, but the mental attrition or mental tenacity that Full Sense has for this comeback is incredible. But for Z11, once they lose many rounds in a row, once they get a little bit less confidence, it really translates into their gameplay.
It really does, and sometimes it's that simplicity, you know? Okay guys, it's been working. They haven't necessarily been winning out all these duels. Just keep running the play, running the action. And let's just stop when it doesn't work. Lenny does get spotted out early by a drone. No follow-up here by Full Sense. But it doesn't look like they're shying away from this.
You did good.
It's a slower start here for Full Sense. I think there's a bit of question marks for Full Sense. Like, okay, what exactly they talk about in that in the timeout? They know where Sephiroth is. His location has been revealed. He jumps up, kills he. Now that his position is compromised, forced to gate crash away.
Oh,
Here comes Execute. Mighty oppressive, very explosive as well. Not taking out as much space as I thought they would, but they do set in little bros. But I'm
Whoa.
surprised at Lenny. I'm surprised he didn't actually spot Sephiroth right there.
down
They
A.
spray through. Potter as well gets what's his name out in the open, full sense, just completely smash
player
everyone.
standing.
These corners, they check every
I have the
single
spike.
angle. Quick to train our teammates. HYK can only get away with one. And a 1v4,
planted.
we're seeing a reverse situation where previously it was Lazo alone, now it's just Fontus. Spots out a shoulder with the many faces coming in from Full Sense holding the line. Fontus can only get away with one. It's a 10-7 and Full Sense still climbing despite the timeout.
this is a massive swing in favor of Full Sense. And once again, I'm not entirely sure what the play call has been here on Z11's side. You saw a lot of their mobility actually get burnt before any of the action happened. KOZ burned that gate crash. Tailwind was already activated by HYK. Now, I'm not saying that it mattered too much in that round, but it may have taken away a lot of their aggression. I think they heard the noise, they popped it, they wanted to get, you know, some sort of hand up in that exchange. Nothing really came out of it. Another eco round here on the board for the younger squad. Full Sense, with this slower and much more meticulous approach, have been incredibly successful. At the moment, there's not too many bodies on either of the sites, but they have prepped themselves in a way that they can rotate quickly. There is going to be a quick response. Oh,
He just spotted out that turret pool as well, so they have an idea where exactly they're going. Was kind of hoping that HYK would kind of double down on that flank, especially since they know the teammate turret has been taken away. They don't want to risk it here. HYK swings out all alone and he gets immediately taken out. And Full Sense, with that one pick off, they said, okay, let's run away and try and pull away some bodies. But Z11, they're not biting. Here comes
Kinda
the
crazy.
swing, and here comes the execute. Hardora takes a full force to the face. So much space denied to Z11. They can't do much at all. Positions all compromised, the crossfires are done. And Full Sense know that they've done their job. They don't have to swing, they don't have to try and force these fights. They can just play this post plant from
Feeling
main.
it.
Definitely soft onto his shoulder there as well.
enemy
And he's
remaining.
tunnel vision, and Potter takes full
Uh-oh.
advantage of the situation with Killzy. Only a sheriff in hand. What are you gonna do here, buddy? Try and fight it? Maybe take a head away? Make it expensive? No. Do not give the alt orb, but just go down to the spike.
it'd be kind of crazy if Z11 gets skunked on this half, but they're taking their sweet time to gather as much data as possible. But once again, you know, this cushion is not as comfortable as it used to be. There is now a very, very real risk of losing these next two swing. And, you know, you kind of don't want to start white hot and fizzle out. But here we are, Full Sense taking full advantage of what's been given to them. Thrash again, almost available for Sephiroth here, as well as Hunter's Fury. So that lockdown and any would-be entrenched defenders are going to be in quite of a dangerous situation.
Area.
Still, same default towards A. They scan out the front of the site to see if there's any aggression. Z11 vacate this. Lots of utility here, though. But once again, Post Sense not biting. They're taking their time. They're walking.
HYK a bit faster this time around. He really wanted to take away Timmy the turn. He does. Spike still not, I would say, going to his
Right there.
intended destination. Full Sense, they love taking their time here in this early rounds, sniffing things out, trying to get some information, maybe try and steal away a kill or two. And QQ got sending in the Aldrone, sort of pulls away the bodies for Z11 onto the A site. So B should be fairly free for the team. And the only one to hold is not going to be easy as three bodies are pushing up a bit more aggressively. They're really selling the snake oil if you ask me.
But they are. Z11, they have been played like fools. They now have an open site and an even more exposed plant here. Now, the responsibility for Z11 is to try and make good with this retake, but there's nothing on that side, or really nothing in their hands to make this any easier. It's a full of 5-man force on the opposite end. QQ Godso trying to potentially wait out for these flanks. Z11, they're quick to rotate and quick to adjust.
Oh, QQ God's timing could be huge here. Has Recon to throw out as well. He could potentially just see if he can get anyone underneath from mid-side area. HYK tries to hold, and this flash is good. HYK gets one, but Sephiroth's always there to get one to his name as well. Both teams suffering heavy damage.
No time.
HYK gets the kill, but the time is just not quite there yet. And Last doubles down on it. Who wants to wait for the round where you can get those kills?
So now you have full sense with almost an unbreakable credit store. And Z11, they're hobbling. They now have an incomplete buy. Sure, they'll have rifles, but they're not gonna be fully kitted with some of these weapons. Guardian, a pair of them on HYK. No Blaze, just recently expended, but they will have that Hunter's Fury plus Drift combo if they choose to do it. As well as Lockdown in the wings, but QQ got ready and waiting. He's really come alive here in this comeback. Once again, I'll say it one more time. If Z11 gets skunked on this half, that's crazy. Oh, that could have been it.
Really tried to double on it, but I have to say that Full Sense is just doing so much due diligence in understanding, and I would say really thinking 3 steps ahead. Any possibility that Z11 could do to them in these early rounds, especially since they play a bit slow, they have really managed to sniff it out.
Z11, they're throwing a lot of haymakers, but Full Sense keeping their composure. They're dodging and weaving and throwing out effective counterplay, effective counter punches. Sephiroth will run Thrash one more time. Won't find anything, but that should give them enough info to just waltz their way onto A.
Standing ahead.
Here comes the Recon and the rush forward as well. This time Z11 goes to challenge the fights, but cannot win against Potter and Sephiroth, who are a little bit more aggressive in making sure that no one can breach the space they hold. The post plan's not going to be easy. Hardora here alone. So many angles to clear. So many utilities as well. Hunter's Fury, Shock Darts, Nanos, you name it. And he is not going to even try.
That's fair. Don't bother. Keep your Vandal. You know your economy is going to be absolutely destroyed. Meanwhile, Full Sense, they are in great spirits. To see them come back from such a deficit and equalize it in a convincing way is not a good sign for Z11. We talked about how tilt and potentially the mental game earlier. It looks like it's weighing heavy once more on Z11's side.
It's just so disappointing to see this on the second half. They haven't found a single round. They gave out so many in a row. They've managed to equalize Full Sense here. A second timeout coming in from Z11. And again, we saw in that first half, he has a lot of hee-hee and ha-has coming in from the team. And now it's just, you can tell they look very, very stressed.
There's the look of, man, they really rocked me. Well, you know what they say.
That's one way to say it.
Poke the bear, you get the Vandal. 10-10. We have essentially hit a reset here. But both teams have proven that they are capable of these massive streaks. Z11, honestly, they just need one round to potentially steal themselves and maybe get their head back in the game. Right now, they just look so lost. They look a little disjointed. It seems that everything that was plaguing Full Sense on that defensive half has fully translated over onto the swap team. Full Sense, look at this. They have every single thing that indicates they're going to win this round, and they're not going to drop any weaker armories for the rest of regulation. Z11 is really not the case. We need to see some heroics here. We need to see a player turn it up all the way to 11.
Guess it has to be Hardora. One off that pit could be huge. All economy on both teams looking massive. But the guns, very much heavily leaning onto Full Sense side. Full Sense this time around, you have Leviathan holding all the way back because of how Killseed pushed out earlier. They have a lot of safeguards set up to make sure that they can I would say, ensure the success. And as soon as they hear the plant, here comes the defender Killjoy lockdown, and in return, here comes the Hunter's Fury from QQ God. Immediately breaks it. So that's one post-plant, I would say, retake situation taken away, advantage taken away. Shock darts to clear those nanos as well. And QQ God also has one to use to his name. High-low setup, body sent out, gets a defuse, a tap only. Potter barely alive to have any space. Goes wrong, but ready for Guilty to swing!
One enemy
And
remaining.
the rest of the team just completely collapsed. A beautiful headshot by HYK, not enough. Yeah, heroics were there, but not enough to really secure them the game. And now Full Sense, after so long, managed to take the lead, and they still have 2 ults to work with.
It is huge too. Again, they can keep cycling these post-plants with how close Lockdown and Thrash is again. Sephiroth has really turned up the volume here. His presence has been felt. Everything has been pretty much on point. Now Killzy has to be a bit more exposed to play this operator. Remember guys, gate crash is not as quick as, let's say, a dash or sprint away. Sure, it's serviceable, but it's just not, you know, as slick as those previous duelists I mentioned. Now, Z11, they've tried it. They've tried being conservative. They tried swinging for the fences. None of it has worked. Full Sense, what do they have in the bag? They go for a classic underrush, and they might just find themselves in the scope of Killzy here. He has to land the shot. Pressure's probably mounting.
Spike down B.
Online Hunter's Fury here as well, and Sephiroth is just quick to find HYK lurking in the kitchen. Kitchen control gone. Z11, what are you gonna do? As your teammates one by one fall. A quick shot in the face here for Sephiroth. Leviathan quickly finds him
Spike
back.
planted.
You thought they could shoot back? No. There's always gonna be someone there to trade you. Potter's position noted. And Last just holding,
Last
ready to
player
trade.
standing.
Timing is good. QQ God finds Fontu.
Zam!
And once again, Hardora, last man standing. Knows exactly where he is. A lot of wall bangs around, but Last brings us to match point. And Z11 stagnated
Match
since
point.
that half.
Once we win, just dump all your tech
They
in my
found
lab. I'll
themselves
fix it
in
up.
very, very still waters, and Full Sense have essentially become
Down B.
the nightmare of the depths. The Kraken here, they've wrapped every single tendril, every single tentacle around the Z11 vessel. They're ready to just drag them to hell here. Full Sense, they are pretty much in control. Like you said, so many things. The potential cycles of the post-plant utility is also very present. Z11, first time we saw that preemptive pit. This could be what gives them enough of a warning signal to go for an early rotate. But once again, a lot of pressure towards A. They need that quick rotate.
Knows where Sephiroth is. You could tell that HYK really wanted that kill. But the lack of information and also crossfires makes it so hard. Sephiroth's still stuck in a corner. No access to retake his utility. But the double swing forward! Timing's just so off right now.
One
Which
enemy
gives
remaining.
HYK all the advantage in the world to win that 3. And suddenly everything fell apart. Z11 somehow woke up. And Leviathan alone.
Yes, Pit. There's no way this falls apart for Z11. They've given themselves an additional lifeline here. There are 3 crosshairs just right around this corner. Not necessarily looking at the same thing at once, but yeah, very difficult here. Boom.
Big 4K for HYK as well. Incredible stuff coming through, and heroic from HYK makes the game a little bit more competitive. But Full Sense, they got money and 4 ultimates to work with.
One thing we've noticed is that the post plans just have been so difficult. So Z11, they finally adjust. They want to stay in the front of the fight. They don't want these more potentially methodical sets to really pan out for Full Sense. Timeout on Full Sense side. They know that they're 1 away from a historic comeback. At the very least, Z11 don't get skunked. We have a potential of a overtime here. First map of the evening, by the way. But I gotta say, Tash, even if we've gone the distance here, it hasn't necessarily been that long of a game.
No, Completely agree with you. It's been very fast. Both teams are just quick when it comes to executes. They love fighting fire with fire. The only thing that's different right now is that Z11 left to make it quick and fast and aggressive, and Full Sense take a feel out before exploding onto the site. Two different styles to the same means to an end. Both teams looking so good on attack. My question is, if it does go into the overtime, how many overtimes in a row can we go, since both of them are just really good on the attacking side and not the other?
A good question, because it has been pretty much a one-sided affair. Like, both teams are incredibly explosive on that attack, but their defense a little frail.
Get out of my
Full
way.
Sense, they know they've been super good at B. Oh, they go for a fake here, but they don't cut noise at all. They go with a heavy set of boots. HYK ready to receive.
Oh, Potter, you finally popped the blades and they actually just fumble it. But QQ got Sephiroth get one each. HYK challenges, blades in hand, wins the fights, and goes nuclear. In fact, with the 3, HYK this past 2 rounds were yours. And it's a start for them. And it's straight into an overtime. Full Sense must be kicking themselves right now.
Oh my goodness. Both these teams are refusing to let go. HYK more obvious than others. He is willing Z11 to the finish line potentially. But how long can he keep this up? He is the absolute best player on the server at the moment. But look at this. Potter's also not too far behind. We have hit yet another reset point. Can Full Sense mount a defense here? Can they stay alive? But I just realized they both mirrored the exact same half. They got 10. They dropped 2. This is as close as it gets.
More aggressive stance coming in from Potter. Not shy to show his hand early on the mid-side area with the op. Z11, slow it down. Gonna try and swing it here. Ardora, he's been doing bars. I guess really challenging. But this time around, Potter makes sure he takes his.
Boy. That's 1 away. And that's a key piece too. That's Ardora. He had 2 away from Pit. But then he has somewhat settled
right there
into a cold streak here.
He is.
That?
Nice angle top side there. Nearly gave me a heart attack with that whiff. But Potter steals away another life despite Killz's efforts to make things a little bit more even. Pontus catches QQ got knife in hand, but the nanos deny the plant. With only 40 seconds to go, his teammates are around.
I got the spike.
Breaks the nano. Sends out the drone to secure the side of Mosh as well for security.
30 seconds
Out
Oh.
as well. He's all alone. Laz wins his fight, and so does Sephiroth.
Not a good sign.
Not a good sign. You could tell that Z11 shook there
Switching
just
sides.
now. And Full Sense take
point.
that first defense half.
Let's reset.
Overtime,
Deep
excuse me.
breaths and all that.
That was probably the most convincing round on the Full Sense defense. And they took a page out of Z11's book. HYK has been really successful playing up. Why don't we do the same thing? Let the team flow in with the small gaps we create with this operator. And now attack. Let's see if Full Sense can close this out. Because so far, they've been almost flawless. Both teams really have been. Another rush from under. They were pretty good at this, but they get stalled by Lenny.
Lenny, it's a bit nervous for him as well. There's a lot of shots coming to his head, and he kept his head fairly low there. At the very least, knows that this time around, Full Sense, they're not playing far back. They're actually very eager to show their hand there on mid. 3 people waiting on B. A very aggressive hold coming from Killz. His gate cash already expired, so no get out of jail free card. He has to make sure that he actually wins these fights, these holds. There's the swing out. He has put in a chip of damage, but both players still alive.
To be fair, this is exactly how the round played out. For that Z11 win. A few rounds ago in regulation. PLZ not really misses a shot.
Look at that position from Lenny here. If they don't check him, he could get away with murder. Did not see him here. He has another.
down,
Last
mid.
shuts him down. 1-man disadvantage for Full Sense. QQ gonna try and double down on his side as well as Potter swings in with the Aldrone.
30 seconds left.
Fontus
Oh, he
checks
did-
him out, susses him, takes him down.
He loses that duel. Full Sense have a chance here. They're trying to make their way towards A. They go for the safe side. And look, Z11, they're still sold on the fact that they're still trying to re-hit B. They're so worried about that leak, but they're also just
10
really
seconds
willing
left.
to play this by the numbers here. Full Sense have a chance. Time, nanos, and a turret available. Alarm bot should be up, but wow, that's super early. They didn't even pre-plant the nanos here too. They might just bull rush into this.
Okay, we got here very aggressive, but I'm pretty sure that Z11 was ready for it.
Oh,
He's
no.
awake, got caught. Not how you play this. They were very, very panicked. And Lance alone, only good for one. And we go again.
Cutting through.
This is really a stubborn game to put away for both these teams. They looked so good on one of those rounds where they need to adjust, but once
Switching
the
sides.
slate
Overtime.
is clean, they're having a bit of trouble writing their own story here. Like you said, Lenny in a great pocketed position. I was about to say it could also be disastrous. They lose their Sova, such a committed spot. Plus, they now they run the risk of guessing if they're really gonna continue towards A or maybe flood towards B. But here we are, Full Sense. Also in a bit of trouble here. We are gonna go still into overtime, but they need the momentum.
Placing
Early
sentry.
recon break as well. You saw that it was a very aggressive push out by QQGod, but because of the amount of noise, or at least the denial of information, made him really question it and say, okay, I don't want to commit to this. Not sure if QQGod can actually spot as many members as they are walking into A. Gate crash is so far forward as well.
No. This is gonna be very messy either way. I see a few pieces of utility being thrown around here, but look at this. Full sensor, a bit tunneled. They back out. They
YK.
abandoned QQGod.
Yeah, very aggressive forward. QQGod had nowhere to
planted.
go. At the very least, Leviathan finds one head as well. This retake is not going to be easy. Lenny does have access to the Aldrone, just to give a bit of information on where exactly to hold. And here comes the Dizzy. That's broken as well. Tries to wallbang the heck out of HYK. The shots are just not hitting right now. A very aggressive double push forward. Gets the trade. Good enough. But still, time is ticking. Hardora,
One
Leviathan,
enemy
one
remaining.
each. Hardora from the backside, so far away. Nanos as well as the snake bite, not making it easy. And Z11 take another attack side round.
Switching sides.
Full sense here.
Match point.
Can they rally back?
Remember, your weapon is only a tool. You can't
That's a
just
very
shoot.
good question. At the same time, you could say the same about Full Sense here. I mean, Z11. Once again, this game has just gone back and forth, that we fully expect these rounds to keep on trading. Now, Z11, they really want to go for this killing blow here. They go for that extra timeout. They really want a reset. And once again, just finish the job. You have to remember too, they might be expending a lot of stamina here just on the first map alone. I feel like everything I'm saying is true for both these teams. But it's really more so on Full Sense side, because on paper, Full Sense should be handily winning these rounds. But they really aren't.
Just really questioning these two teams at this point, right? How well, I mean, we sort of predicted it will go into overtime, but I didn't expect it to be this competitive. Felt like Z11 lost a lot of drive somewhere in that second half. But as they push toward OT, it felt like they're very alive again, ready to fight back, and they're really, really swinging right now. HYK especially bringing the heat for Z11, especially in the last two rounds, all the way till now. My question is for Full Sense, in that halftime, in that timeout as well, what have you been talking about?
Exactly. What is on the board? Is it easy enough to translate into the game? Is this an actionable plan? It looks like Leviathan is just really expecting this long flank when realistically Z11 have not shown it. But this is also the crux of a hard read. You're not necessarily putting yourself in a spot to be flexible, but HYK can't believe he survives.
I love that. That was a nice high-low swing. They were just really ready for it. They're just taking these fights one by one. Full Sense decides to play this or just dismantle them. Deconstruct the team bit by bit. God definitely knows where Lenny is now.
Oh,
Broke the Alzo
Killsy.
positions. Yeah.
Look at Killsy. Could find a freebie here, and he still has gate crash barely available. There's no way this happens again, right?
They didn't check him, and Killsy completely goes nuclear. Brings out the shorty, but Laz was just tad bit faster. One off that lockdown, much needed.
30
They have
seconds
less
left.
bodies to work with. Waits out the orb. Swings out. Oh my god, I'm not sure what happened there. Hardora should have won that fight here. Fontus keeping his head low, swings out, wins out the fight, catches him in the
Spike down,
midst
B.
of
Oh my
really
gosh.
sticking that spike. A lot of mistakes taken advantage of. The later rotation from QQ is good. But where exactly is one more member? Leviathan
There's
from
no
bottom
way.
side, a shorty in the face, and so does Lenny! Outplay upon outplay. He sticks it in the end. Shock dart forward. Knows exactly where he is. And the
No.
swing is good. Z11 somehow make this work. A 15-13. Almost fumble. And honestly, Vade, me too, man.
Grind out, you know, especially with Vice and Deadlock the way they are. It does look like the Jets are still gonna be, you know, the stars of the show here. We have seen some teams forego that. A little bit of Waylay here and there, more Yoru than normal. Neon has also made a great case for this, and there's just too many narrow corridors that she does get caught out of. The 11 in full sense, pistol round. They know what they're stacking up against now, so I would wager that both these teams have turned it up another notch.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see how exactly these teams are going to play these comps as well, considering it is a skill matchup. Leviathan locked out of the site, no entry for him, but the sound sensor keeps the rest of Z11 at bay. Now they have to find a different way onto that site. They're all just lit up right now. The scans are just so good with Laz, the only man on that site to defend against an avalanche. And not able to do so. Z11 just jumping around like bunnies. And Full Sense looking for a very heavy late rotation for 3. With Potter being the only one able to come onto the site. So, that's a lot of information gathered already. No one coming in from CT. HYK already held down.
No way.
Wins it with Killsy and Lenny. This is an incredible post plant with multiple angles covered. D11, they look so prepped right now. I am shocked.
Who was that who got caught on the grab net? I
It
saw
was
his laugh.
HYK.
HYK, man. He saw his life flash before his eyes. You saw that Master Ugwe meme. My time has come. But he didn't. He survived. He made it through the next few movies. Great
For
stuff
real.
here by Z11. Okay, so another thing is Z11 gonna have a gigantic swing like the rest of, or rather the first half of Icebox? Because Full Sense, surely they are aware that could happen now, right?
I mean, we're seeing so many of these teams. They're just so adept on one half and just, you know, completely questionable on the other. There's just too many of those going on. And since this is Z11's map pick, I am questioning how exactly is their defense side going to be reinforced. Regardless, this is still a great pistol for Z11. That's another attacking pistol into the hands for this particular team.
Sound sensor out.
Z11 this time, they're not really doubling in to go onto the side, but rather to protect themselves to get this orb onto their Sova.
Good choice here by Z11. I don't think I've seen that play happen too many times, actually, where they use their barrier mesh. But inadvertently, this also prevents Full Sense from taking early control of A main here. So Z11, they have the choice to reoccupy. And maybe, just maybe, re-hit the site. Full Sense, they're not ones to flinch. Now, if you look at the weapons here, they do have a Guardian and a Marshal in hand. These aren't necessarily the best weapons to play fast with, but it doesn't dissuade Z11 from hitting it.
Three opening onto Killsy right now. Both bubbling.
Lord.
HYK gonna be traded out here. Full Sense doubling down. Pistol round or not, they still take advantage of the situation. And now Potter has an upgrade. Z11, everything's falling to dust. But Fontus tries to make it work. A 2v1. 30 seconds to go
30
here.
seconds
He
left.
has to make a beeline if he wants to hit that B site.
1v1. Leviathan, obviously, or actually 1v2 here. Sephiroth has the rifle. Leviathan, the more vulnerable target. Might just get shredded to bits, or just have a solid hole be blasted through him with that Marshall. Fontas
10
does
seconds
have
left.
one Razor Vine available, so this could just clog up potentially one of the
Spike planted,
lanes.
yeah.
But the problem with B is you are gonna get boxed in. There's really not too many ways to play this if you're a solo defender. Well, since they know it, Guardian swapped out to Sephiroth and Leviathan running with that Vandal. What does Fontas have in the bag for this?
If they're aware that he has that Marshall, it could be huge. Smoked off should give him a bit more space to
Flashing.
cross.
Ooh.
Good hit.
Arc Rose hits one, but no clue if they're gonna go through that smoke.
Oh.
Repositions away, timing
Nah.
off, playing a big round of ring around the rose. He
Sup?
gets a high-low hold as well. They go for the defuse, but the hole is not meant for him. And somehow, full sense, they win their eco.
Oh my goodness. This is still as competitive as it was. Leviathan and Sephiroth do so well with those weapons, and I think there were already concerns being voiced out here. The Guardian and the Marshal, sure, incredibly potent, but once you're kind of running into a site with these semi-autos, bolt action even, there's just not much you can do once you're getting swarmed by the more nimble guns. Full sense, one on the board. First to the gun round. Z11, can they do the same? Can they steal it away with lesser weapons?
Interesting stuff coming through here. No one's really peeking. Full Sense does not want to play Z11's games. So like it or not, Z11, you're gonna have to find a way to execute, because Full Sense has always been a lot more of a reactive team than a proactive one, especially in the early rounds.
Boy, barrier mesh being invested here. Also, too many things to really walk on towards B. There's a bunch of Razor Vines. I think there's also an Arc Rose preemptively placed here. And Z11 doesn't seem to be discouraged for this. They do have a player pocketed towards a tiny corner, towards mid, to maybe deal with the flanks. They have been discovered. Full Sense is here. Do they have time to rotate? They could have.
Oh my god, Leviathan, you know what? Razor Vines be damned. He actually challenges, gets away with two. And you have Potter on the other end with a nice crossfire. Hardora alone, and it's a flawless round for Full Sense. Pistols or not, they're gonna try and snowball this. Clearly, they want to make up for that loss on that first map.
My goodness, Full Sense. A lot more clean with that defense. Z11, I don't
Now
think
we
they
win.
scouted out the amount of
Need
utility.
to move my wall.
Yes, the amount of utility that was actually in place for the B site. But I don't know, it really hasn't shooed them away from trying. It was the same story on that anti-eco they lost. Maybe it's the very thin line between confidence, just outright being stubborn.
Location lit as well, does not deter him at all. Quick pops the hit, Sephiroth and Fontas. But QQ God goes aggressive here. Goes for two.
Spike down
Super
A.
aggressive holds onto their areas. And Z11 cannot even shoot back. HYK's timing would be good.
Last
Wait to
player
find
standing.
one. But Leviathan
Man.
snips him out so quickly. Look at his hold. Position. Potter was looking the wrong way. QQ God on high alert right now. Tries to go for that wall bang, but Laz, look at walking down catwalk. It feels like for Full Sense, they're very confident to walk around the entirety of that mid-side area. Even main. So much control of the map.
The thing about this like double sentinel lineup too is that once you survive the first like sets of deterrents, or at least the setup, there's really not much in the way for an anti-flank. But that also leads me to the question. What was Z11 doing with their anti-flank? I mean, they have the leeway to play this slow and just, you know, dissect the map, poke and prod to see if there are any tender spots. But instead, they go with yet another heavy-handed attack towards me.
Oh no, HYK, a bit too aggressive for your own good, and Full Sense was very much ready for it, waiting in over arms. Slow or fast. But Potter cannot push, but the layers of this defense here. From CT side, market, lane, backside as well. But they have another thing in play, which is going to be the Steel Garden. Life goes down. Titan gonna fall. Potter, beautiful headshot by Kikugan as well. Goes nuclear.
Outrun me.
Weapons away or not, Full Sense are ready for you.
So this is a bit of a head scratcher. They had the Steel Garden up, but ultimately met an untimely end. And it, like, at a glance, Z11, it just feels like they're trying to Zerg rush everything.
Spike down.
They're just trying to be a bit bullheaded about it. And it looks like Coach Vade here has something to say. Like, guys, what are we doing? Where is potentially the protocol that we have set into place? We have tried the same strategy 3-4 rounds in a row. It has not worked any single time. Maybe there should be an adjustment.
Last time we saw Z11 timeout, the second one from me personally was the most impactful one. You know, you can see the coach just now just, you know, giving a sigh of relief, and I feel like he's still very stressed right now. Really curious how exactly it's going to change in terms of executes here. If you want to try and go for these early fights where Full Sense just doesn't want to give it to you, how exactly do you make them fight? Do you try and bait out the utility before finally bursting onto the site? Because I think for me, looking at Z11 on attack side on Icebox, they did a phenomenal job of really doing that, and would love to see them bring back that momentum again. A Full Sense, probably knowing this, gonna go for aggressive holds on B side and even A.
I mean, they're not necessarily incentivizing Full Sense to come out of their hidey holes either. So Z11, maybe this is how they choose to deal with this problem. Mid has been largely ignored, barring this round. And Full Sense, they are a little bit of thin in this area. But knowing Ascent, it's so easy to get funneled here. Look at Z11. They know that they want to take mid, so they send a scout in form of Hardora. But HYK gets spotted out. This should make their intention that much more obvious to the defense.
You send two members as floating onto CT side. Potter somehow still manages to stay fairly safe. He doesn't get spotted out at all by the recon. He's just kind of swinging in and out of the smoke. Catches Kilsey off guard. You got util in hand. Stays away. Hardora forced to back off.
Much more ground.
Oh, he actually hits the mark as well. That wallbang. HYK rendered so low, and now they're gonna try and just rush it into tree. The net comes through. Everything slow. 20 seconds to go. They have to force this onto the site. Sound sensor also tripped. Leviathan looking to push. He's taking up a bit of damage here, and his swing is good. Timing phenomenal. Hardora still gets him in the end. There's only 10 seconds to go and no space to hold. What are you gonna do here? 2v2, 3v2, excuse me. The Potter up in hand. Here comes the Blades. Gives him a bit more mobility to really burst onto the site. Hardora, nicely swat him off. Yes, gets the nice timing through. The smoke sprays him to the end. Potter finally pulls out the night gun, and HYK cancels him out. But still, he's barely alive, limping! It doesn't deter HYK at all, and once again, HYK,
No charges left.
the hero to keep the team in the game.
Oh, so close there by Full Sense. And once again, Z11 getting that meaningful ground before they initiate their attack. Provided so much value. They found a small vulnerability towards me. I thought this was it. I thought that was the round for sure. Leviathan getting the spike carrier here. A great recovery on the side of Z11. And once again, HYK, you mentioned it. Hero of the round. What do they have in mind? They have Annihilation and a lot of tools to be proactive, but there was enough presence in that last round to somewhat dislodge those entrenched positions and spread out the defense. But what, Glass? Come on.
You gotta give it to these guys. It's a nice crossfire from an off angle from mid all the way to tree. Just reacting off that information from his teammates. Ready to swing. And Lenny, still fairly safe, hidden in the corner. Eats a lot of damage from the shock dart. Forced to move away. At the very least, Z11 this time around have a bit more space. And hold. With the A side, the door broken now. Everything out, laid bare in the open.
That it is. Leviathan, Hunter's Fury. Would
two.
say...
Cover going out.
Sephiroth waits, sends out the smokes. Nice double hold here, but where are you gonna look? The amount of bodies going through annihilation for you. Sephiroth quick to find Lenny and even Hardora. It's a waterfall of pain coming in from multiple angles of that site. Z11, not enough bodies to hold.
The one-winged angel strikes, not with the sheer strength, but also patience. Good call by Sephiroth to wait for his teammates to collapse onto the side before doing anything here. Big commitment by Lenny to play dice like that. Like you mentioned, that off angle plus the support early on was enough to thin out these numbers.
Enemy remaining.
And big props to Full Sense. Once again, changing up the way they occupy the map. So now they reset back to default. They have an early scan towards mid. And Z11 have done the same. They look to initiate a little bit more gravity here. They are going to get the ult orb away. But look at all the ultimates getting popped onto the side.
This is chaotic attack. Steel guarded as well on the board. And Full Sense dancing with so many different angles. Brute force doesn't matter. We don't care. We take it in stride. We answer back. What was that? 3, 4 ultimates used from both teams. Crazy stuff coming through. The only person that fell from Full Sense throughout everything is only Sephiroth.
The 11 automatically shrinking from a would-be successful game plan after one round. Not a good sign here. Then again, you kind of look at how Ascent is designed. How else can you play it? Does kind of come down to more meticulous timings and whatnot. Full Sense are in control in the driver's seat. Sure, it was expensive to shoo away the attackers for Z11, but I'd still say this is a decent round. They got the ultimate removed, and they even get the spike down. So economy-wise, Z11 are in a good spot.
Yeah, like 4 ultimates to work with Jenna. Full Sense, they got everything used in the kitchen sink here. Buys a bit of time and space with the shock darts, but it's not a lot of time. So decided to waterfall onto the side here. Nice spray time from Pontus. QQ got trades. 2 even. This guy, his reaction time, just so good.
Spike used. Returning to post.
All right, Z11. Got another deficit to work towards. Button down. Full Sense. They're still super equipped here. I mean, I think they were hoping to get a few more bodies here in the entirety of that mess.
Enemy remaining.
Man, what does Z11 have in the bag now? They go for potentially split action here. It looks like they might put some pressure towards Cat and maybe split towards B. But there's really no weak side here. Vice utility scattered throughout B. Deadlock utility all the way around A plus the support of Sephiroth. So it's just a matter of how you want to maneuver this matchup. Potter with a up. Pretty entrenched there. Now Z11, they're waiting for some sort of aggression, which has not shown itself at all these last like 9 rounds.
Z11, I think they're just really scratching their heads.
Scanning
Them
ahead.
trying to suss out, come in from tree mid, didn't work. They weren't able to win out pizza either.
A bad
Going in from
dart.
main was just
Take flight.
not something they want to do as well. Lenny this time around. Oh, they haven't really been able to displace Potter off mid side at all. But they do ping him. They suspect him. Definitely.
Cover
We're
going out.
walking into a lot of utility here. Sova should be ready to receive, or maybe ready to throw out an early dart. As I say that, it is the drone spotting it out. Potter, Any inkling of noise would probably prompt him.
30 seconds left.
Maybe fight this out. The smoke, it hasn't dissipated yet, but he doesn't want to find out what's on the other side.
Goes through the paranoia. Immediate answer. Z11 managing to duke it out. As House Hester spots him. QQ got ready to receive. Holding strong alongside Sephiroth.
10
Leviathan.
seconds left.
Great jump out with the shorty as well. The Steel Garden will be used for the time being. And time definitely not on their side. Full sense. This is dominance.
5 rounds up. Solutions escaping Z11 here. Still looking for that spark, that crack in the defense, but so far none of it has shown. Oh man. What else do they have in the bag here? I mean, I'm not entirely sure if they're close to any ultimates at the moment. But if we're going off the data, the brute force path didn't work. Them kind of just rushing it didn't work. Looks like they're gonna try again though. Maybe they're hoping for something different, but HYK immediately bounces out.
Unafraid here. Laz is trying to weave through the smokes. They're all lit out. Ardora this time around, a more heavy-handed approach, a more aggressive start. Gives him a bit of space to work with. Dismantled by Leviathan. The op as well rings out. Leaves Z11 question marking how exactly they want to play this retake. The op goes through.
No.
Quick wall bang onto Hardora. Where exactly is the other? One by one they fall. Fontus challenges, but the judge in hand rings out in full sense. Still taking away the round despite everything. I was so sure that Z11 might be able to do more damage to the team.
All is well.
Try to get the Vandal.
Their death demands our attention.
I mean, if we really look at it, right, in hindsight, he could have probably just relaxed and probably just wait for the swing out, but it was a judgment call here. He knew there was a little bit more presence towards heaven too, so he couldn't stand around for too long. Actually, Fontus was still up. The moment he went into...
I'm so glad they clipped it early. My ears would have been ringing.
Coach Vade trying to give some words of wisdom to this squad, because this attacking side is really subpar so far.
Man, interestingly enough, when you look at this, you know, it felt like for both teams definitely did their homework, their due diligence, and figure out how exactly to play the map. But I don't want to say anything. We've seen way too many changes in that second half. But it's definitely bad for sure for Z11, only getting 2, winning only a pistol and 1 round somewhere in between. Haven't been able to dismantle the defenses at all here. Full sense, they really have been able to kind of slice the map into little cookie cutter pieces, taking advantage of these many off angles and aggressive holds. It's just great stuff. Stalling and just putting Z11 in these very, very desperate situations.
Listening.
What they do, I mean, they understand how this map breathes and how it flows, so they know exactly where to cut the circulation off. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. There is a liquid in the lungs of Z11 and they have to get this out, otherwise they are gonna drown.
I was so sure that the net would sort of deter Full Sense from swinging. But it didn't really matter here when you have that many bodies just kind of weaving and playing off each other. Suddenly everything that you start to do to receive falls. Lenny just waiting for that right possible moment to just really trip this wall as well. Last pull away.
Patience. That he did. Again, Full Sense, they know that they have a gigantic lead.
Oh,
Revealing
that's
area.
how I
Well,
know.
not as big, but they still have a lot to work with here.
Revealing.
Z11, what do they have? Hunter's Fury, but Lenny has to make a call where he wants to position himself.
Very aggressive angle he's been holding gives him a bit more
Enemy
defense.
remaining.
HYK peeks, HYK falls. I was so hoping they'll be a bit more patient with this. Don't check Lenny, but a nice 2-man hold to just really drive him out. Full Sense Nice 9 onto them as well. Can Z11 kind of rally back, give us a 9-3?
Returning
or are we
to
going to
post.
see a repeat of that first map?
Last round in the
Not
half.
looking too good.
Buy the
But
best
like you
food.
said, we have seen these massive swings. And the thing is, Full Sense is also running the same comp. Maybe they're gonna run into very similar, if not the exact same problems that Z11 are encountering right now.
Sound sensor
We go
up.
back to what's available though for Full Sense. They do have From the Shadows and Blade Storm, not necessarily big team fighting ultimates. The Z11, they still have that Hunter's Fury, which I think they're saving for a post-plant situation, but that just really has not presented itself, hasn't materialized. I'm gonna go for a different approach here. I think that one round where they leveraged from mid, try to get some bodies away from either of the sites was the best looking one yet. Full Sense, this has been their show.
Definitely not happy with the performance on map 1. Almost comeback denied from them.
Out
Cleared
of
up, I
charges.
mean, finds nothing. Here, blades popped as well. Recon on mid. It's a very, very patient, slower round for Z11. In Full Sense, can't help but check where exactly they could be. But Z11 have slowly made their way into
Over there.
There's still very much that
No
wall to
escape.
worry about as well. The Arc Rose 30 seconds as well. They immediately see the Arc Rose online. The Razor Vine set up for success. And here comes the Hunter's Fury just to really clear out Leviathan for that backside. Hasn't been able to tag him quite yet here. And somehow he wins one against HYK. Kill team from another corner here. He could potentially be taken down.
Spike down,
But a
B.
lot of damage done before he's finally flushed out of Boathouse.
A lot of precious timing burn here too, and now an extra body removed from play. Ardora, massive flank. He cancels it. I think he got spotted out.
Lenny smoked out as well. Full Sense, they remember what happened last round as they were going for the cross. Hardora as well is splashed, forced to play a more passive position.
Yoink.
Nice trades all around for
player
both
standing.
players, but Full Sense a bit more higher might coming through here. They try to go, has to reload, brings out the classic. Full Sense 2-10 half is what we're seeing this time on the other end of the
sides.
spectrum. It's Full Sense in the lead.
By a large margin too. I was really worried why they didn't decide to chuck in maybe like a grab net and Tash on the desk. As we get back to the second half now, if Z11 dropped his pistol, I'm gonna be incredibly worried. Well, since they know what's at stake here too.
Take flight. Enemy tag.
Oh, Lenny
Ooh.
saw everyone, and he still tries and challenges it. Very aggressive style play. I almost got a heart attack at how bold he was. Full Sense, understanding where Lenny was. All right, let's just try to walk down mid. We know where that wall is. Can get a 3-man push out together. If Z11 pushes, they see ahead. It could spell doom for Full Sense. No, it's a 4-man push. A lot of water falling onto that site. Font is on there. Arc Rose online. The recon as well. Really broken. Sends out a very, very late net, but
Stealing sight.
Full Sense. They're just ready to wait and hold. First wave of utility is done. Laz and Sephiroth wins theirs. Even Leviathan, Lenny, and HYK at the very least catches 2. Bit of
Spike
rotation
planted.
is exactly where Leviathan is.
Ooh.
Breaks
Last
it,
player
domes him
standing.
as well.
Ah.
Laz finds his teammate fairly quickly. Lenny's
perfect.
timing could be good.
Oh,
No.
Bane.
If you're not coming in from lane, where are you coming from? Stairs. Full Sense sniffs them out.
Dedication.
Come on, bruh. Good timing there by Full Sense to understand that, as you said, there's just really not too many entrances to go for here.
Now we win.
They have to force up. Z11 have to force by here, unless they're really confident in their ability to swing back 10 more rounds in a row again. We see the Stinger and the Sheriff come out. This is decently conservative, to be honest with you.
Fontus goes huge with the Sheriff. Perhaps HYK in a more aggressive position. It hasn't been spotted out quite yet, but full sense the second wave of aggression comes through. Quickly finds him and kills he as well. Whatever they try to do, Lenny only able to run away with 1 kill with a shock dart. And Hardora alone against an avalanche 1v4. DRG Classic in hand. All I can do. Slash as well. So it's an easy cleanup. Z11. What are you gonna do against an avalanche?
Match point.
Nah, I can't even remember what the third map is. Like I said, there should have... It was Sunset, so it is Sunset. So there should have been the map where Z11 had probably the best chance to close out the entire series. But with Full Sense just kind of regaining their form yet again. Looking a little dire. Z11 have enough to go for a full buy here just to survive the bonus. But once again, they have to be careful. Their margins here are razor thin. I don't even think they get anything from that. And Potter with a full head of steam jumps onto site, onto market.
Oh my god, look at how much space Potter has already. Just kind of hanging around those smokes, hoping to catch someone off guard here. Definitely knows that Potter is somewhere close by. And in fact, he walks up to challenge HYK here. A double swing means doom for him.
Punching thorns.
The rest of Z11 awaiting the aggression coming from Full Sense. This mesh barrier keeps the rest of Full Sense at bay.
That's -1. That's quote-unquote their big guns too, but they have managed to get themselves some sort of safety here. Quartz Tree. A free site given by Z11. They're confident in this retake. Tree completely unoccupied. I think they'll get the switch very soon though. HYK, tempting fate.
In the open as Laz and Sephiroth find him quickly, judge in hand. Yeah, it's netted, but doesn't really matter when Full Sense was very much waiting for you. Time is done. Laz swings out. Timing is great. And Fontus alone against an army.
Attackers win.
Setting him up for success here. I think they're throwing a lot of hopes onto this guy to be able to just rush forward, get a few kills, just give them a lot more breathing room compared to the rest. But Full Sense have everything in their arsenal to stop that from happening. As you mentioned just now, Raph, that double smoke's not gonna make it easy with Laz as well for the hold.
And we did see Z11 be a bit stubborn. And again, we talked about the sustainability of this chosen playstyle. Yes, you can definitely put a lot of your resources toward a certain player, but what if it just doesn't pan out? What backup systems do you have in place? What protocol do you have in your bag just so you can enable somebody else with this comp? But again, that's just the beauty of the game. You never really know what happens.
Quick trades all around here. Lenny, Laz, 1 for 1. Laz so far into the site as well, and Z11 good for the punish. Leviathan tries to rally back, but Z11 making a quick pistol onto their laps. But Z11, they cannot relax quite yet. Last map, Ascent, they lost the anti-eco. So have to watch out for Full Sense.
I'm out of here.
Quick response here by Z11. If this is where they come alive, might as well do it now. They had the chance to close out the series, but just did not materialize. Full Sense, eco round.
Let us hunt.
Attack, I think it'll be a bit more difficult, especially in the earlier offset, because you kind of have to condition Z11 with how you want to place your smokes and what type of pressure you want to exert in a certain area of the map. And sometimes, like when you're playing chess, doesn't really matter when the opposite team isn't even participating.
Ardora waiting in the wings for this aggression coming from mid, and he just farmed Full Sense onto that area. Still, it will take a bit more space onto that B site where they want to hit. They want to try and avoid where the Cypher might be, but nice straightforward here. Kiko got trades. He's very much limping right now. And HYK happy to take it away. 2 in the laps of Z11.
Looks like Z11 is much more equipped to deal with this map at the very least. I mean, we did see them have a great success rate as long as they did get the pistol and they didn't get boxed in too much. I think Sunset, it's a bit harder to get cornered. Unlike Ascent where you go into a site, it's a bit of a one-way trip. You know, you're in, hard to get back out, so on, so forth. A lot of early scouting here, though. A lot of aggression.
This is how Z11 want to play it. Showing a lot of control on mid-side area. Forcing Full Sense to a more passive approach. Well, we saw Full Sense on a more passive attacking side onto Ascent as well. And I think Z11 sort of caught wind of it. Keeping a close eye on that mid-side area. Skippy got quick to spot out Lenny. He's lit up, taking a lot of damage from that shotgun early as well. Quick sprays from Hardora. That gun barrel gave Potter away.
Shadows traveling.
-1 already in Full Sense. At least they got rid of the other Vandal by the great effort. Still, that doesn't necessarily keep them in the clear here. That's a lot of time being burnt by Z11. This double controller. Getting a fine on Lenny. That's an
30
open
seconds
sight
left.
too, so they make a mad dash, but I don't think this is going to be as easy as they wanted. They're very close to overlapping here. Did HYK barely miss the head?
Yeah, HYK's timing could be phenomenal here if they don't check for him as well. They do mark him.
Oh,
so
they do.
Leviathan goes away with 2. Love these
10
honestly,
seconds
layered
left.
upon layers when it comes to the lurks and the timings as
enemy
well.
remaining.
Last is there, knowing that Z11 loves a more, I would say, sporadic approach that retakes. And this looks a lot better for this team as well. I was a bit concerned because of how scattered Z11 were across the map, but I think Full Sense had them read perfectly.
My goodness. Interesting choices here. I honestly didn't expect for the extra lurk to get fouled, but great heads up play by Full Sense, avoiding the steamroll on the bonus. Z11 still very much equipped for this round. A lot of regen shields, a lot of half shields here.
Scanning ahead.
Thankfully, the Outlaw is not here to annoy them this time. Full Sense, what do they have in the bag? Are they gonna try and just burn Z11 out of their, or rather smoke them out of their bunkers? Because it
Deploying
seems
drone.
that's the way. Wall up, crawl up. Where do they go?
Cover going out.
Slowly taking their time here. One side of that mid-side area means that there's no crossfires, excuse me, that could be used. And that wall gives them a lot of space to rotate as well onto market side. I'm sure it's read very well by Z11, but it's Full Sense. It's a bit better at the hole.
Found my wire.
Ready and waiting. Even Killsee's timing is caught off guard while he swings out here. Pretty easy plant. But it's post-plant. Z11 on the back foot here. Left 2 members to worry about. Knows exactly what Sephiroth is. HYK laying in wait, but still cannot have access to that site. The Razor Vines keep him at bay. Hardora, an off angle to see whether or not he can take advantage. Not gonna be easiest.
Stealing
The
sight.
paranoia out. And HYK rushes onto that site. Moving forward here, all alone. Timing is good.
Whoa,
Potter awaits,
whoa.
but Hardora wins the fight.
Smart move.
Wins another here, HYK. The last 2 members
Last player
keeping the fort
standing.
alive.
Good
Kyukigar
round.
with the nice hold and the shock dart brings them the equalizer. I have to say, Full
We
Sense
are
is a
strong
very,
because
very
we are
patient
together.
round, managing to
forget that.
dismantle Z11's defenses.
Really worrying there, you know. I thought for sure that Z11 might have had an inkling of what they needed to do. But once again, Full Sense plays so safe that they just inherently burn so much time. Plus, you add the fact that it is double controller. There's going to be mollies. There's going to be a lot of paranoias. There's going to be a lot of things thrown in your face. If you look at the frag distribution, I think it's a little bit better on Z11's side, but the rounds are the same. HYK got caught by the relay. Bolden's overstaying his welcome. Sure, Shield's gonna come back up, but he's lost good amount of health here.
Right here.
They are in an eco, so they're looking a bit brazen. Do they reaggress towards mid? Their forces indicate yes!
Quick trade by Killsea at the very least. So not all is lost, and coming onto that site, Lenny, one off the Hunter's Fury could be huge if you can get it online. Leviathan as well. Went off the pit.
I have the spike.
Waiting for an
Poison
early
orb
peek.
emitting.
Poison Orb just to deny that backside push. Waits out the fault line. Comes through online. Has an inkling where Fontus could be. Flash hits,
There.
but no follow-up at all.
Spike
Maybe just to use it.
Ultimate is ready.
Oh, this could be huge here. Leviathan kept his head low. I don't think they've actually spotted him quite yet. Guilty. Great kill onto Potter. But trade out quickly here. Leviathan looking on the market. Guilty comes through slowly. Chipping away at the space and the sight. Knows exactly where Laz is. But Hunter's Fury is online now. Tears them apart. Gets to tap one more time. Waits it out. Lenny low. Didn't kill him at all. And he's gonna try and stick it. Has all the time in the world to go. Spike Diffuser is killed.
Come on, come
But
on.
thankfully for Fontus, it's halved. He has a lot of time to take this round away. A Thrifty falls onto Z11's laps. These rounds have just
Wow.
been really to the wire, but then that win at Thrifty should give Z11 an edge.
Really unfortunate there in Leviathan's end. He could have been the key piece to really secure that round. But losing your first controller, that on the offset, is also not a good sign. Z11 making fantastic work with the Sheriffs and maybe a pair of Stingers. And they got rid of the Hunter's Fury. That was a thorn on their side. But once again, full sense, they're still very much equipped. What do they have in the bag here? Again, they are running an incredibly high responsibility, high execution lineup in an already exhausting, potentially exhausting series.
Give a lot of noise down mid. Not afraid to just really show their positions as well. Denies full sense from being able to walk up area. Pushes full sense into trying to make sure if you can actually execute onto that B site. But they don't want to. The lack of information keeps them questioning.
Man, the questionnaire just keeps adding up, right? Like, how are they gonna take this? They've once again expended the wall. Z11, they're a little frozen in place, but one thing that's been impressive is their just ability to retake. They know that they can save their utility, but they need their pieces intact.
Potter definitely saw Lenny there, swings up forward, and Lenny is stuck. They also have the Steel Guardian online. HYK catches one before it hits. But in the corner here, Hardora tries to right-click, cannot do so. I have to say, the timing coming in for full sense, a lot more dominating. Fontus, quick to find one head here in a 1v3. Isolated fights is what he needs. Let's see whether or not full sense would give it to him. Kikugat shows his hand, but they know exactly where he's coming from. Gonna try a different angle, a different approach, but time is ticking. Not a lot of time to work with, so the call is to save. Wanna bring that Vandal forward.
Hit still available for Leviathan next round. Maybe they're gonna do something with that. Steel Garden, obviously expended just to get that extra bit of space. Thing is too, Fontus is not too far away from this Rolling Thunder, so that could be a quick answer to the Viper ultimate. But if they try to chip away at each other, maybe take away some key pieces, which Z11 has been very good at. That was the point I was trying to make earlier, where they're so good at keeping all this aggressive utility at hand for the retake. Now, granted, it didn't show in this round in particular because they did lose Lenny early and everything kind of collapsed under that pillar. But for the bigger picture in hand, that's their key to success. Now, I'm gonna assume they're gonna have an early dart here just to spot out the amount of players and maybe get a quicker reaction. After all, they have that Neon and the Breach, so they're just gonna have that much more oomph on that initial hit. It gets spotted out. Surprisingly, it's Lenny moving forward, tempting fate with this Guardian.
This time around, they made their presence known a main, which pulls away the rotations from mid-side. That off-angle camera is good. HYK goes aggressive, quickly trades out. And Z11 this time around, a lot more ready for it as well. Hardora weaving through the smokes, doing a lot of damage to the team. And despite everything, full sense. Still 2 for 2 on the site. Laz so far back into Boba. Could potentially catch Lenny off guard here. Too many angles to clear, too many areas to hold. So plant is gonna be for backside area. Knows exactly where Lenny is. He's lit up. Gonna try and move away. That smoke should give him a bit of space to just really swing out if he wants to. Play together a
Last
double
player
swing
standing.
forward to eliminate Lenny. Knows that he cannot give these isolated fights to this team.
Shadows
Hardora, we've seen him clutch before. Gets a tap.
Oh,
Takes a lot of damage, barely alive, limping right now, pushes forward, and Sephiroth, the man of the round, with a 4.
Look for
It's
my
so
shadows
back
that
and
will hide
forth on this map for these two teams.
it's one of those moments, right, where you get sprayed through the smoke. The only thing that goes in your head is, damn, they really caught me there. But once again, so you now see Z11 be a bit more reactive to the utility being thrown out here, coupled by the fact that Full Sense just have had really Sephiroth kind of clean it up. I don't think that play was inherently bad, but like you said, Sephiroth, man, just been so locked in. Z11, they're still looking for the extra push to get them over the hill here. They don't want to look like Aerith. Oof. It's not
Sir?
really a spoiler too. It's been out for how many years
Sir?
now? She's dead.
Okay, here it comes, Full Sense. What you gonna do here? Made a lot of noise onto that A side area. It didn't really pull a lot of rotations from Z11. In fact, it kept Z11 like, okay, they made noise on A. I guess they're going mid here. It's a lot of cat and mouse, smoke and mirrors, whatever you want to call it. Even the Aldrone doesn't keep the rest of Z11, you know, to pull their rotations yet. In fact, I think it's gonna be a
Oh,
B-side
no.
push. And Lenny in the mid of rotation, Sephiroth completely chunks him down. It's an A hit once again. And Z11 going back and forth between these two sites.
I was about to say that this wall has just caused so many problems for
30 seconds
Z11. There was the round where they wanted to deal with it early, not allow Full Sense to use it as a pivot point. And it happens again, but HYK, what can you do with the pump shotgun? Let's see what happens.
Double area hold here, good for
one.
one, and tries to throw it through the wall, gets 2 before shut down by Leviathan. Damage done, Sephiroth held the area of drop to perfection. And Hardora lands a perfect tech shot onto Leviathan. In a 1v2, a Sheriff, hard to ask for. The jump
Whoa.
forward, a TP back, they know exactly where he is, an upgrade is given. That is a Phantom, but against a double swing, Full Sense a bit more ready for it. No isolated
demand
1v1s for you.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I thought that there could have been a chance. That round could have gone awfully wrong, especially with HYK Heroics. And especially with the rifle picked up. But look at the discipline by Full Sense. They know they have the big numbers advantage. They get that Argos flash up. And, you know, we kind of expect all the teams to play with this amount of discipline and just refinement. But there really are moments where it does escape even the best of us. But so far that's not been the case. Full Sense, they want to close this out. This wall again, providing so much gravity. Lenny cannot leave his post. There has to be somebody watching this cross.
killed.
Hey, no.
Crazy
It's happening.
work. A lot is happening. From Sephiroth especially, that's a 3. Doors closed. Trying to bring an idea that someone had actually breached onto that B site. But it pulls away kill seat from that area at all. Trying to sell some snake oil, but the thing is, Z11 are already giving up. Save is what they want.
Man. No Buster Sword to save Z11, but they do have an operator, which is pretty good.
Out of charges.
You know, now that I think about it, if Cloud had an operator and Sephiroth was within like
Spike
a
planted.
mile, there is no game. It's over. But then again, we did see young Sephiroth like
Why
split
are
the
you
bullet.
bringing up my childhood trauma, sir?
That's not my fault. Like, look at Sephiroth. He's absolutely demolishing this team, or he was like in the last like 2 rounds, right? So it's only apt.
was not prepared for this, man. You're reminding me I need to finish Rebirth. But anyway.
At least the... Well, never mind. Rebirth is good, is what I was gonna say.
They're not gonna be able to find this op, that's for sure.
Not
Tucked
at
in,
all.
Very far deep. You have, you know, both angles covered, so not taking this away, but full sense. You can really start to see that they're really starting to get hot. A lot more confident with their executions. You know, you'd think they would take up space down mid. And that's exactly what they did. Sephiroth
Zam!
managing he just really sliced the pie here on both sides of that mid-side area. The timing for the hold for Z11 is very off, and I have to say throughout the entirety of this game in situations like that, Z11's timings, it felt like there's a desync between the players.
That and like I think that was a direct byproduct of how Sephiroth just obliterated Lenny in the round beforehand, right? Like where he tried to cross with the sheriff and Sephiroth was there. I think they're trying to make the read that, okay, Sephiroth is playing this wall pretty passively. Maybe, just maybe, we can let that, you know, time run down and not worry about this. So let's play passive. But then you throw that into the mix. Sephiroth perfectly anticipates the refrag and then gets the trade. I mean, the second kill. Pretty crazy stuff here. So Z11, they might want to change assignments here on who might be watching what, because mid is looking awfully vulnerable.
You know, you thought that... I think the biggest problem for Z11 right now is their rotations. I feel they're a bit too scared to give up control of A main or even B main. You put so much pressure onto A main or B, or B main sometimes. You let go of mid and suddenly you have players like Sephiroth just eager to breach that weakness. A very deep recon this time around. And this wall down mid has been giving Z11 so much problems.
I can't help but feel like this is a head scratcher.
Ardora is ready as well. They rush forward, they win these fights. Kill C trades, Hunter's Fury as well, fused in tandem. Gets a tag onto him, they know exactly where he is. And once this information is known for full sense, press pause, cut the noise, figure a different approach.
That was a great cover up by QQ God. I mean, that could have been a disaster, right? If they swung out with that paranoia. But the Hunter's Sphere just enough to shove and even damage Z11 to the point of subduing them. Now, they're definitely still going to try and fight back on this round, but they are going to be extra squishy.
Two-man hold, Poison Orb as well, denies information to market side.
30 seconds left.
Z11 this time around, they want to try and push a bit more. Immediately, Rolling Thunder use displaces the members of Full Sense, but they can't swing out together from different sides of the map, anticipating the hold, anticipating the aggression. Z11 and his op only good for one. And again, this op has to be saved.
I'm out of here.
This operator is looking a little bit more of a liability. And I think we've seen that also be the bane of a lot of the teams. You kind of have to play alongside of the operator's pace. And I'm not saying that it's impossible to play operator against double controller, but you do have a lot of your stronger positions be sealed out, and it does kind of force you out. Ooh, great shot though.
Yeah, the timing's great. I think Leviathan had an inkling that he might be there. Tried to wide swing that, but HYK sharp as ever gets a wallbang kill, so not gonna be able to wrestle away that op from their hands. But if anything, I agree with you, Rav. This operator has not shown impact in this situation. How long more do you want to work with this?
Blinding.
Right? Well, don't think they really have too much of a choice here. Because at the same time, sure, you get your most agile agent on that operator, but you do lose that extra aggression and maybe map control or forward map control with it in hand, unless they really design a plan around it. But even at this level, that's just so incredibly risky.
Toxins going up.
Full sense. Anticipating a push this time around from Z11. Kelsey just really diversifying his trips as well. They really don't want to deal with any
Cover
aggressive
going
pushes
out.
from mid-side area. Aggressive on both ends here.
Deploying drone.
This is pretty much the tempo of the rounds. It's been going on. This first half's definitely the longest one by far in these three games. Spike still not being picked up, so Full Sense have no intention of committing to either side here. They're still trying to figure out what's going where and if there's any actual like threat on either of these sides. But it does look like B is gonna be the call. They're trying to sell this. As you would say, there's a lot of snake oil being thrown around, and wow, with that noise,
Here.
B is open.
Oh, I've definitely heard that. Oh my
30
god,
seconds
Potter!
left.
No way.
Quick trades. A good sign. Up. Is it finding his mark? No, I'm pretty sure it went wide.
Spike
The
planted.
plant is on the other side. Snake oil is sold. QQ got falls. Timing is good for Leviathan. Spots out Lenny in the mid of cross.
Here.
That's an F.
Real. Are we gonna break
F
into
in the
this?
chat.
It's gonna be hard. Gotta find that Viper and fast. The Thorns keep them at bay.
No.
You hear the sound of the op, just blind shots everywhere. Kelsey at the very least gets one to his name, but time is just slowly dwindling away and Kelsey running away with his life. Neural Theft has to be safe for the next round here.
found my
I'm quite
wire.
surprised that they didn't
Caught one.
use the Neural Theft early, trying to
Toxins
take
going
away
down.
space from that pit, but I'm guessing that we realized that they're at
going
a
up.
disadvantage, excuse me.
Last
Yeah,
round.
that's a good
before
call. I
the
mean, they had a
switch.
few bodies available to do so, but maybe it just didn't come into mind. Sometimes it happens. The thing is, too, Razor Vine plus Viper Spit is so obnoxious. My goodness, I forgot about that combo. But once Pit is down, and for some reason, you see the Razor Vine there, you have to pray that that doesn't get activated, because the moment you shoot at it, the Viper player, or really whoever's occupying the pit, is gonna know where you are.
Scanning ahead.
If you somehow get stuck in it, and you move
love
an
this.
inch, you're pretty much dead.
He got it stuck and also pretty much dead as well. And also, again,
No.
Full Sense always ready to trade. But they sent out HYK with only a stinger in hand. So losing QQ God this early is pretty bad if you ask me. Hard info gone, and Lenny goes a bit more aggressively forward, but Full Sense ready to receive one more time. Reading their play like a book. Walking around as a team, making sure that teammates are not going to be taken out without a consequence. A lot of time on the board to work with as well. Moving up as 4.
What can Fontus and Killsy do? The remainder of that original core. Now, building up a flank, but there is an Arcros. They dodge it. It's a question if Laz abandons his post, and that he does. This has opened a gap. He's back.
Spike
Here we
planted.
go. Here's Fontes playing close to their teammates. I love to see this. They could be able to get away with murder if they play together. But Full Sense doubling down. The flashes are good. The overdrive keeps them at bay as well. Sephiroth
No.
ready for it. The one-winged angel does the damage, and Fontes in the 1v3. Time ticking. Smoked off the site as well. Also elevations to worry about. And he can't do anything else. And Full Sense is a 9-3 lead, a dominating
Switching
lead.
sides.
I would love to see Z11 pull a comeback here.
What a puzzle for Z11 to solve. It is still Tash, Bunny, and Raph on the desk to
Revealing
call the
area.
action. In this pistol round, we'll see if Z11 can work their magic.
Saw a comeback on map 1. Well, an almost comeback. Full Sense this time around. They're not playing. Putting a lot of dominance here. Z11 playing that mid side, going very, very aggressively. Moving on the area, but the site is not where they can play with. But both teams suffering heavy losses this early in the
enemy
skirmishes.
remaining.
But Z11 always looks so good on this pistol. With Laz alone in a 1v3. A lot of footsteps on noise. He didn't smoke off the right area here. Could try to be a bit more aggressive. Spot out
Spike
YK.
planted.
Good for one, but still traded out. Z11 2 for 2 on this map for pistols.
Hi. I gotta go.
Lot of composure in these pistol rounds, definitely. But we're waiting for it to translate everywhere else. Good start, though, just to keep the momentum in check and to keep Full Sense honest. Z11 definitely back on their bread and butter, which is the attacking side. Look at these upgrades. Pretty aggressive, pretty confident. A Phantom, a Vandal. Except Lenny. Lenny is going to stick with the pistol here. Full Sense, only one Sheriff in hand.
Nice crossfire from Full Sense. Z11 this time around trying to go in with a 3, the other 2 trying to catch them in the mid of that rotation. Bit nervous about the positioning where Last is here. He's all alone. Nice headshot to the face. Quick to find Lenny. Z11 completely obliterate.
Last player
Leviathan
standing.
tried his
I
best
got
to bring out
spiked
more,
down,
but
B.
still, this time around it's a 1v3. Potter alone against the world.
Spike planted.
Maybe just die to the spike to deny them any more of those alt orbs.
Yeah. Be the ideal situation. He does get a frag, but
For a break.
ultimately put a stop to that. Both
Expensive
rifles.
round.
Yeah, but at the very least, they get both rifles back. Ooh, not sure if Z11 is gonna invest. I mean, they do have 2 rifles here. We gotta remember the rule of 3. If we have 3, you buy up. If you don't have 3, you don't. It's not that complicated, I think. Now that I really think about it, yeah. But yeah.
Good timeout from Full Sense. You really want to deny this bonus conversion is number 1, and number 2, you want to try and snowball off it. Full Sense was kind of, I mean, in the last few games as well, we saw a lot of round 2 wins coming in from Full Sense. That eco, they weren't able to secure this one.
Well, there's been a lot of timeouts this series, honestly, and it just shows you how locked in these teams are.
I don't blame them. This is an elimination match. You lose here, you're out. The end of your journey.
Yep. And it doesn't really get any easier too after this, because I think the winner of this is going either Naos or Motive. So yeah, that's really not the easiest route to walk into. But Full Sense, what do they have in the bag here? Double controller. Already set up the wall. We know that this can be a composition that takes a little bit of time to ramp up. So these early successes that Z11 have doesn't really come to us as a surprise. There is a wall and I believe a shear towards B. So maybe this should be enough utility to cut the legs of this assault.
Oh, but Potter is
Hedora?
here waiting.
What?
I'm not sure if he's
Oh,
spotted
no.
out his tiny little pixel here. Hedora's timing is just massive. Last spotted out, crossfired with his teammate as well. Quick to catch him out.
I'm out of here.
A lot of work happening. Last finding Lenny with just
Hey,
the
no
razor
way,
vines.
bro.
I'm not too sure what happened here because the one with the advantage just now was Z11. Potter spots him out. Leviathan lost his. Still worry about Boba. Rolling Thunder as well will be expanded here to just really give them
Spike
this
planted.
bonus conversion. And Sephiroth, the one-winged angel in a 1v2. Both players are Z11 very healthy right now. An elevated high-low hold as well. I'm not sure how exactly he's gonna approach this.
One more smoke. He has it. He could potentially use it to divvy up the 1v1, but they double up.
Flashed.
One
Hits him in the
enemy
end. That
remaining.
whip is unfortunate, but he's
6
still
bullets.
able to do it again.
What are we
but
doing?
Reloading out there in the open is his mistake. So Z11 converting this round, making it 3-round deficit only. Oh, this is looking bad. If Z11 gets momentum, this could spell doom for Full Sense.
He thought that somebody was still playing Pillar. That's fair. But man, it is painful to watch. It is in crunch time too to make a mistake like that.
Enemy
Still, Full Sense wouldn't be surprised if they continue to tread lightly here. Same wall. They haven't really acted on it. They have in mind here. Infinite smoke towards A.
Shadows traveling.
Maybe chilling. Another one for mid. So a lot of the map has now been engulfed in the fog of war. Drone gets spotted out. QQ God not entirely equipped to deal with a straight up fight. Same can be said with the rest of the members. Sephiroth has to be very, very slick to get value out of this judge. But looking how the spike is positioned, it is
Shadows
finding
traveling.
its way into a reset. They recoil away from A, maybe towards B. But once again, wall, sheer, razor vine, they're all there.
Quietly making their way up. A lot of noise heard. Z11 is gonna break that mid door. Everything stunned up. The Vine's keeping at bay. Cross and TP in the corner as well. Potter's lit up. But no one from Z11 can follow up. Regardless,
30
oh,
seconds
Laz catches him off guard, runs away, but sprayed through the smokes. Leviathan as well gets a nice headshot through the peaks. Onto traits. And Z11 going
One enemy
super
remaining.
aggressive right now, swarming from every possible angle. And Sephiroth all alone. Judge in hand. Not much he can do. The Sheriff.
Death
Easy
is cold.
straight from Lenny.
Not ready yet.
9-7 now. Z11 taking this round by round.
Z11 looking a lot more successful once they encircle a site. I think there were already hints of that once they got that massive leak in the early gun round.
Left.
Some fancy shooting here, making it at least an acceptable round for full sense. At the same time, they're having trouble with, you know, trying to cover all the bases here. Sephiroth, sure, lending his hand in just denying information towards A. But this hasn't really been the site or the go-to site for Z11. They now readdress. Where do they want to go? Mid was successful once. Can they walk up again? Thinking about it, they're tempted by it too.
Nice crossfire and Laz just sprays the heck out of the team. They line up for him.
Toxin screen down.
Unlucky.
Try and bro.
Spike planted.
Send out. The owl drone finds nothing. Hadora's timing. His hold could be good here. Catches Leviathan off guard. No. Leviathan spots him out, but his whip is just too much to deal with. Laz going huge here with the three.
One enemy remaining.
Sephiroth wins that much needed fight, and Potter catches Fontus right before his guns get taken away here. Full sense finally take away the momentum from Z11. Much needed to bring them to double digits.
They weather the storm this time. Z11 push their luck. Maybe this is the conditioning finally taking effect. Viper still very much rooted towards this B site, and Laz leaving his post just to have that extra body towards mid actually worked out.
Remaining.
And again, some of these fights, they're really so narrow to call. It's from a missed reload or just a misstep from a positional challenge. But Z11, once again, they see a few things that they most likely will try to fix ASAP.
A Milo. Looks like a Milo.
Where?
I think it's HYK drinking it. No, I don't think so. The more I look at the bottom, squinting at it right now. Probably not.
You definitely need that extra boost.
Anyways,
To keep
coming
this-
back into the game. Sorry, I was gonna say that, you know, Z11 right now, I think it's good that they call this timeout. Their momentum broken. Again, this is such a momentum-heavy team that really want to chain rounds in a row. I think it's good that the coach realizes this to just really bring their head back into the game. Because full sense, once they chain a few rounds in a row, they can really run away with it just to really cool down. Full sense, bring back that round. It's good. Because Z11 mounting this comeback is not going to be easy now. Especially with their all economy. They look so good. They have the overdrive, one off, that rolling thunder. They also have neural theft that they haven't used in quite some time. Hunter's Fury too.
Really waiting on maybe using this as a confirm to win the round. But full sets again, they changed up the setup. Look at this, now they have a bit more coverage towards more depth into the site. And now the double utility, or at least both utility heavy controllers or agents are on A. Engagement towards B. Sephiroth elevated.
Shadows
I didn't realize HYK was so low. What?
sure what happened, but he definitely knows
Coming
where
through.
Tens, at least Sephiroth, was holding to. Advantage. Much needed by Z11.
And
I think Neon
I know
doesn't see
exactly.
that he's limping at all. Shut down by Potter, Lenny trades, and Leviathan as well, joining in the fray. Timing's good.
What a
and I always
shot.
question how exactly Leviathan wins these duels that he's not supposed to be winning. Time ticking. The 2v2. QQ got
One
staying at
enemy
B.
remaining.
Gets sprayed.
Zam.
Leviathan, barely any space to work with.
Here.
No time either. Call to save is good, especially considering he has 0 creds right now. So that timeout from Z11, massive to bring them back into the game, denying momentum shift to full sense.
Crazy thing about Z11 is they're fighting all these openings and catching Full Sense members with their back turned or with their laces tied together. And Full Sense, now we know and we've talked about how this team is a pretty composed team, but there is just a level of mental damage when things like that happen. Because in your mind, you're thinking, who was marking that spot? Why weren't we marking that spot? And why was I in such a vulnerable position? But now they go back to address this. They've seen it one too many times. And we see the body language just shift just a little bit. A bit more frustration seeping in. But 3 more rounds has been the call for not just one map, but 2 maps now too, with Icebox in the fray earlier in the evening.
Yeah. And I really, honestly, that door break by Kelsey, at first I thought, oh, it's so dimensional. He's doing the same thing and again and again. But it gives you so much space, denies that hold that, you know, Full Sense had for so long onto market. So hard to really cover up the holes as well. And I feel like mid gets compromised so much here. I'm really curious to see what exactly Full Sense want to do to stop the bleeding right now. Z11, you really gotta give it to them. Insane mental tenacity coming into this game. Same as Full Sense for that first map as well. Still have 2
Full gun round on everybody's side. We did talk about the concerns of not having a rifle on top of Potter, but that also means there's an extra bit of urgency to get value out of this.
Well, this here comes the overdrive. As soon as that first contact comes online, an immediate overdrive pushes Z11 back. And suddenly everything they were setting up for is gone. Hardora is limping. No more Hunter's Fury or even hard info coming in from Lenny. B is open, ripe for the taking here. But
Oh, nah, they can't take it. They can't. Yep,
oh,
yep.
denied them. Can't do that.
There.
Has to fight their way for that spike with only 50 seconds to go here. You have to have a game plan. Funtus rotating over. You already have Kelsey waiting in the wings. Could displace them with the fault line.
Oh, that's crazy. That was such a well... That was an awake play by Full Sense. They knew they had the bodies. They knew they had the spike. Aware the orb was vulnerable, but the fight breaks out.
Ardora
player
also
standing.
rallies back to Potter, but Laz shuts him down. A 3-way hold, and Full Sense hits 11. Ah, that's so devastating for Z11. Their aggression broken so early as well, but that early game fight really threw off whatever that Z11 had in mind.
Goodness me. They had the idea, but the counterplay was just so ready. Laz landing an impressive shot too. That is great. That is great. That's also one of the reasons why we don't necessarily see that type of play as often as we do anymore. Everybody's just so aware of it once it's up. Lenny does have Hunter's Fury available, but he hasn't had the best of games. Z11 pushing through.
Aggressive hold, aggressive push. Potter trades out his teammates. Now Z11 questioning. That's our entry. Gone. Need to be a bit more aware on how exactly you want to execute onto the site.
They're trying to walk, but this minute feels like forever. Lenny might have a good read here.
Oh no, the crouch pick threw him off, and QQ
Last
God
player
displaces
standing.
them both. Fontus, only good for one. 3-man push is good, and full sets, they are very much head back into the game, baby.
Match point.
That's match point for this team, and Z11, you can start to see the panic setting in. Elimination on the horizon.
Uh-oh. Maybe this is why they call this the sunset. This is the last one they might see for the split. And Full Sense back in high spirits again. They felt their play was on par with their expectations. But Z11, they have one more hurrah here, potentially. All guns. Hunter's Fury still very much available. Not much else. Now Full Sense can't let go of this lead.
QQ got information enough, despite the fact that Aldrin did get broken, but that off-angle coming from Sephiroth will find Killsy fairly early. Paranoia, B-Dance, Punches, pushes, but Laz and HYK both rally back. So much space taken away here. A lot of kills coming through. It's a bloodbath over on mid. Market and Boba. Spike in no man's land.
Last player
Awkward.
standing.
Oh no, here we go.
Spike down,
1v1. Potter moves away, doesn't really want to hold or stay near that spike. Understanding that Hardora could potentially find him in a different angle. Both rotating at a very good timing, both missing each other. Not too sure if Potter did spot him out. Hardora has access to the spike, 35 seconds to go.
Cover
Slowly
going
make a
out.
beeline onto A. He
30
knows
seconds left.
that Potter is somewhere there on B.
He can still run. Full gauge. But Hardora doesn't have a paranoia anymore, so this might come down to a straight up gunfight. Doesn't hear the spike go down, but that notification is gonna make him just go for this. Goes for tiles. Z11. It's all coming down to Hardora finding this frag so they stay alive. How close is this gonna get, Tash?
Elimination on the horizon here. A bit concerned just now. Smoke set up. Gonna try and jump through with that.
Go, go, go.
Shorty. The rush forward here. The smokes dissipate.
So
Not a
well
lot to work
played.
with. But he's looking the wrong way here, and Hardora should be able to take this. Bringing Z11 to a 9 one more time. Full sense. The finishing line is there, but they can't seem to reach it.
My goodness. It continues. Good stuff here by Hardora, not biting on the fake. He knew that he had everything available to him. But now this is yet another challenge for Z11. Viper Spit. I would not be surprised if Leviathan is just going to expend that just so they have that extra safety net. They still go for B when they see that wall. Hasn't necessarily been the most successful configuration for Full Sense, but they will still run with it.
Quietly makes their way up to
Take
B.
flight.
The only thing that's to worry about right now is just that Viper Leviathan quick to take away that Aldrone. Still hasn't really shown where exactly he's holding.
Trying to get a timing too, turning off the wall, but now they have the go signal to fight.
Nice off angles played from both these teams. Chip damage abound, cannot hold on the back of side. Fontus just limping right now. He's so low, barely alive. But the guns will be taken away here. As HYK gets away barely enough. No guns, no rifles quite yet. Potter, very aggressive angle. He crosses, he dies. Rifles back on
Guns
the board.
back.
Not really able to plant quite yet. Gonna quickly just TP all the way to their side to see whether or not any information he can gather. Potter suspects it. Should have looked on the other side.
30 seconds left.
Let's just gonna try and walk forward here. On just low, breaks the util.
Nice, Laz.
Laz, great Laz. Somehow
player
eats the full
standing.
force of the damage, but
Spike
still
down, B.
deals away a kill. Killsy fighting for his life, trying to deny
No.
the elimination in the horizons with only 10 seconds to go.
10 seconds
Sprays
left.
wildly. And now, as time ticks by,
I know
he
exactly
wins the
where
fights.
you are.
He has to win
2
it.
seconds.
10 seconds and Full Sets win it 2-1, sending Z11 home.